Mm, mm. Boop, 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 boop. Whoa! Today we're drawing ghouls. I've got three. I've got a trio of ghouls, and we're gonna draw their fucking dumb, stupid faces. I gotta decide which picture I want of the three of them. So I've narrowed it down to two for each one. I like the tongue sticking out, but this one, his hair is awful, and it almost doesn't read Trump. So let's strike that one. We'll go with screamy, shouty Trump. The Clinton, I like the lurid kind of thumb up here. But I also like the front-facing kind of cheeky look of our friend Bill here. Yeah, I think we'll go with this one. And then good old Alan Dershowitz. I think this one's got it. All right. These are going to be our three. These are our three, and let's get to drawing them. We're gonna draw them. What should we listen to? We can listen to something. Now, one of the reasons I haven't listened to Knowledge Fight on stream in a long time is because the last time I did, I got a strike on my channel for spreading medical misinformation. Because, like, it just picked up Alex Jones saying shit. And it was like, you did that. You did that, kudos. That was all you. And I was like, nuh-uh. And I did an appeal. And the way you appeal is you just click a button that says appeal, please. And then it'll be like, okay. And then like 2 minutes later, it responds back saying, your appeal has been denied. You may no longer appeal. And I said, well, that's not very appealing to me. But they didn't hear me. And unfortunately, because if they had, they would have laughed at my hilarious joke, and then they would have realized that I didn't do that. I didn't do that. But I guess, you know, fuck. It's like, whatever. It's like, I guess we could just, like, fucking... whatever, you know? It's like, dude, it's like, whatever, dude. It's like, dude, it's like, whatever. It's like, whatever, dude. Dude, whatever. All right. Let's listen to episode 580. This is July 20th, 2021. Pull it up here. How's the audio? Red alert, 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 red alert. A red alert. It's the alert and the color is red. Don't you ever take your eyes off of that shit. Knowledge fight. All right. Put that in the corner. And if you hear any medical information, please let us know. Please let us know. Please let us know. Because then I have to, I don't know what I have to do. I guess I have to stop and correct it? I don't know. I don't know what to do, but we'll see. This is a risky time to, period of the show to listen to, because this is, you know, a year after there was a giant medical crisis of some kind. I don't remember. I forgot what it was. All right, let's put it on. Let's draw some ghouls.
Knowledge fight. And Jordan, I'm sweating. KnowledgeFight.com. It's time to pray.
I have great respect for knowledge fight.
Knowledge fight. I'm sick of them posing as if they're the good guys, saying we are the bad guys. Knowledge fight.
Dan and Jordan. Knowledge fight.
I need money. Andy and Kansas. Stop it. Andy and Kansas. Andy. It's time to pray. Andy and Kansas, you're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Hello, Alex. I'm a Christian caller. I'm a huge fan. I love your work.
Knowledge fight.
KnowledgeFight.com. I love you.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Knowledge Fight. I'm Dan. I'm Chuck. We're a couple dudes like to sit around, worship at the altar of Celine, and talk a little bit about...
All right, I just checked the stream and it sounds like ass again. I don't know why my shit does that. It scrambles the sound and it makes it sound super scratchy. The fuck? Why'd it do that? Why'd it do that? Does it have something to do with the sample rate? What's wrong with 48K sample rate? Is it because it's playing through my headphones? Is it because of the stereo channel? I don't know. Let's try this. All right, try it again.
Knowledge fight. And Jordan, I'm sweating. KnowledgeFight.com. It's time to pray.
I have great respect for knowledge fight.
Knowledge fight. I'm sick of them posing as if they're the good guys, saying we are the bad guys. Knowledge fight.
Dan and Jordan. Knowledge fight.
I need money. Andy and Kansas. Stop it. Andy and Kansas. Andy. It's time to pray. Andy and Kansas, you're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Hello, Alex. I'm a Christian caller. I'm a huge
Still sounds like ass. All right, This is so weird. It does it sometimes, and then it just randomly doesn't does it. All right, I'm gonna listen.
Until you've already seen it done too many times, you know?
All right, testing. Stand by. All right, what? Look at what I'm looking at. This is supposedly the desktop audio. That's the second thing we're listening to. When I play this,
Carl O'Keefe.
Brutal.
turn it all the way down,
Alex
nothing happens.
talks to this
Nothing changes. Right? So this is clearly not even the slider for what we're hearing. What are we hearing right now? It's not webcam.
dude, and I find his.
It's like over blasting out of some hidden channel that I can't figure out. Advanced audio properties. Wait a minute. I've got audio input capture 2 inactive, desktop audio active, minus 59. Okay, that's that slider, but what's going on with it? I know the mic works. Track 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What do you mean tracks? I don't have tracks. Do I have tracks? What if I unclick these? Is that going to do anything?
Review unconvincing and uncompelling. And then he has another interview with Angela.
Okay. No, it shouldn't be coming through. There should be no sound coming through if I turn this all the way down, right? I should be able to adjust what I broadcast. Am I the asshole for thinking I should be able to adjust the volume of what I'm broadcasting? That's what I thought this audio mixer was.
By the name of BJW.
Stand by. It's fucking hopeless, man. Here's what I'm gonna try. We're just gonna listen to. We're gonna listen on a separate device. How do you like those apples? Hmm. Okay, I'm looking through some episode descriptions, and I see some that I literally probably can't play because I'll get banned for spreading misinformation, medicinal misinfo. So then we'll play it through. Let's do just a little tester here. Play a little bit of I Hate Bill Maher.
In the same way, I prefer to eat food over dirt.
Okay, does that sound bad? Okay, you know what? Fuck it. It sounds fine. And let's just listen to I Hate Bill Maher. All right, so we're gonna change this. Text here. I hate Bill Maher. Maher. The fuck is this guy's name? Maher. What episode is he talking about? Episode. Oh, he doesn't number his episodes. This is real time S2E20. All right. And maybe we'll do Knowledge Fight later. But for now, we'll listen to I Hate Bill Maher. Let's do it. I can take these motherfuckers off.
Journalist, I break new ways of looking at stories. That's what I'm trying to do.
Your daughter's a whore. Religion is a neurological disorder. Cut the schnizzle!
These morons are out there protesting for Hamas.
You don't give women enough credit. They care just as much about politics and issues as men do, and I would say, sorry, they don't. Americans have got to learn how to take a joke.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to I Hate Bill Maher, a podcast about how I hate Bill Maher. I am your host, Will Weldon, the titular Bill Maher hater. Just a quick disclaimer off the top. If you hear weird
Exactly, Cobbles. The globalists don't let me play Knowledge Fight. Good to see you. If you're I guess it's weird to say this now, but if you're like listening back to the first part of the stream, don't. It's all garbage. The stream starts now. This is when we're going to listen and settle in and start drawing these ghouls. I can't wait. I got a trio of ghouls here, and we're going to draw their stupid, ugly faces. And here we go.
Metallic kind of like clanging or banging noises. It's because I kept forgetting. I haven't recorded an episode with someone in person in a while, and I kept forgetting to upgrade my XLR cables. So I still have the incredibly cheap ones that are too loose in their casing, and it takes roughly 5 times as long to edit these if I try to get all of it out. So some of it I'm just going to leave in. This is a real disclaimer this week, not a joke one. A second disclaimer, I'm already sick of doing the disclaimer, so I will probably stop as soon as I am done season 2 of Real Time. Disclaimers out of the way. Let's get to the show. Introduce the guest right away. They are a filmmaker, writer, and community organizer for the right. Very right-wing guest this week. It's Karen Clancy, everyone. Karen, thank you so much for joining me here on the show.
Hello.
So, before we get into you, your thoughts, your feelings, your dreams, your premonitions of the future, your bone-chilling premonitions of the future, first segment we always do is Bill Maher News. Maher News. So there is Bill Maher News.
Yes.
Last week there was Bill Maher News.
Yes.
Larry David wrote just a quick op-ed making fun of Bill Maher for having dinner with Donald Trump. It's no secret Larry David hates Donald Trump. He ended his friendship with Alan Dershowitz over Dershowitz's support for Donald Trump. Hopefully also the other stuff we know about Alan Dershowitz. But Bill Maher responded to Larry David's brief essay.
Oh my God, what did he say?
So he was on...
I get all my Bill Maher news from you.
I would be so upset if you were like, I get most of my Bill Maher news from you, but I have other independent sources of Bill Maher news.
I know so much about Bill Maher now.
He went on Piers Morgan's show, which they recorded in the Club Random basement. It's like...
Oh, like he called in?
No, they did it there.
Oh
Anytime
my God.
he's on somebody else's podcast, he only does it when they come over to do his podcast. And then he's like, I'll give you 45 more minutes for your thing.
That's so him.
So he... and Piers Morgan was the one who asked. Piers Morgan was the one who kind of pushed him on it. It's like 8 minutes long, this part of the podcast. And at the start, which I know that because they had tags on the YouTube video.
Okay, was it a video podcast or an audio podcast?
It's a video podcast.
Okay.
Probably available as an audio podcast as well. I refuse to double dip. I refuse to do that to my guests. To be like, hey.
Oh, also you have to control your face.
Yeah, you have to look okay.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I've got some guy on and I'm like, I hope you're okay with everybody looking at your bald spot for an hour and 15 minutes or whatever. So Bill Maher at the start says, using the Hitler thing is kind of insulting to 6 million dead Jews. That should be in its own place in history. Hitler's got to stay in his own place. He is the goat of evil. Now, I think that's a little disingenuous.
The goat of evil.
I am a little skeptical that Bill Maher, of all people, is going to be like, hey, we don't joke about some things. Especially to Larry David, a man who, like, at least twice a season of Curb Your Enthusiasm would do some sort of, like, Holocaust or Nazi or Hitler-centered episode. There's a whole episode where he is whistling Wagner, and a Jewish guy gets mad at him for whistling Hitler's favorite composer, and the episode ends with him on that guy's front lawn with a whole band, and he is conducting them in, like, Hitler's most famous, or Wagner's most famous piece of music.
Yeah, he's like, Larry David can't make fun of Hitler. Not allowed.
Nothing he loves referencing more than not just the Nazis, but specifically the Jewish relationship to Hitler and the Nazis. Piers Morgan is like, a lot of people on social media have been pointing out, Larry David is conspicuously silent on October 7th.
Oh.
And And it's a little hypocritical of him to bring up Hitler and not be willing to speak out against, or it's a little ironic that he will make a joke about Hitler, but not speak out against the closest thing in modern society to Hitler, Hamas. And I'm like, surely even Bill Maher will be like, that's ridiculous. Because Bill Maher doesn't really want to talk about it. He keeps kind of trying to be like, I don't care.
He doesn't want to talk about the op-ed or whatever?
Yes. Because
he's being fucking roasted.
Yes, and it's not some college kid or journalist making fun of him. It's somebody he deeply respects. Oof. But Bill Maher goes, I mean, you're right. It is ironic that he would do that. And it's like, my wife came home and was like, somebody she used to work with, she saw him and he was like, Will must feel gratified right now to have been proven right. And I was like, been proven right? I was proven right before I started the podcast. I do the podcast because I was already right about this guy. But this is his most...
this wasn't like, well, like, I mean, it was an investigative show, but not to an end. It started with your opinion and continued.
I didn't come on to be like, I'm going to prove to everybody that Bill Maher sucks. Everybody who messages me or contacts me about the show goes, I've hated this guy forever. What a great show this is. They don't go, I put on your podcast to refute it, and I thought, actually, you made a lot of great points. No, there's a review of the podcast that's 1 star, and it just says, doesn't hate Bill Maher enough. 1 star. Like, but this is him at his most publicly pathetic. Now, Howell, I said... My cat is currently rolling around on the XLR cables in
right
defiance.
Where they connect.
Defiance of my earlier disclaimer. This is his most publicly pathetic affair in a while, and it's funny that I said this to Jane on another episode just recently, but this reminds me of, it's like, do you know Kneecap, the Irish Republican rap trio that just performed at Coachella?
No.
Their stream got cut off during their first set where they were getting the crowd to chant Maggie's in a Box, and then they were talking about Israel and Palestine, and then they were like, we got censored, the chant, and then our pro-Palestinian comments. So they had, the second week, they had another set that wasn't being streamed, but Hassan Piker streamed it, and during the set, they put up huge slides on the giant screen behind them that said, fuck Israel, free Palestine. And it's the kind of thing, their fans saw it. Hassan Piker's fans saw it.
Oh, wait, I think I do remember this.
It was the kind of thing where it was like, good for them. You know, they're always going to stick to their guns. Nobody else noticed until all of these extremely, like, pro-Israel groups, Sharon Osbourne, they started posting about it. And it's like, hey, I don't know that this is, like, I don't know what you think. If, like, Sharon Osbourne is like, these guys should get their visas taken away for this. And people will go, who are these guys? What did they do? And then they will go and look and see these, like, 2 young Irish guys who make good music and have a lot of fun and talk about doing drugs all the time while, like, kids are partying in the audience. I don't think that's going to have the effect these people want on the general opinion of Israel. If they're like, well, who do I side with? Ghoulish, sour Sharon Osbourne, or these 3 guys who are, like, having the best time ever? From Billboard.com. Kneecap's Coachella controversy results in weekly streams nearly doubling. I win. But I think that is what's happened now with the Larry David. Nobody really noticed until Larry David wrote that, and then everybody started writing about Larry David writing that, and now it's big.
I would have no idea because I've binged your entire podcast, so I have a completely warped sense of who is aware of Bill Maher and the day-to-day goings-on, because I've been in, like, this podcast binge. But, like, you know, Kid Rock is like, you gotta go on. You gotta go meet
this guy,
the president. I can hook you up or whatever. Was Kid Rock there during the dinner?
It was Kid Rock and Dana White, who was the founder of, I think still president of the UFC, who a few years ago very notoriously was, like, abusing his wife in the middle of a casino lobby. The Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Okay, that's right.
I cannot believe
I'm thinking, like, United Food Charity.
Right. You were like a guy.
I'm thinking of, yeah.
You're like this guy I knew who, when I was a teenager, and I was like, can you believe that the WWF has to change its name because the World Wildlife Foundation thinks, and this guy was like, when I hear WWF, I immediately think World Wildlife Foundation. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I'm like an idiot.
No, they both have their place. But, but I think, like, I mean, he said his expectations were not at all neutral going into that. He thought that he would do a great job, have a great time, and be like clapped out on the as he walks out, that there's like applause or whatever. Like, I mean, he had to have expected the fact that he is a self-identified, like, I make waves or whatever, like, and he's like, why is everyone so weird about this?
Dude, like, he has literally said, why are people criticizing me? They should be calling me a hero for doing this. That is like a direct quote. Yeah. They should be calling me a hero.
Well, I was like,
I'm not the villain. I'm just going to ask you, if you ever find yourself on not just any show, but a TMZ show, and you're saying, I'm not the villain, I should be called the hero, would you stop and go, oh, I think I might be the villain?
Yeah, I need to self-reflect a little bit. He's not capable of that. So I just, like, I listened to, you had clipped a little bit of his, like, monologue, and he was like, I was really proud that I pushed him on that thing. And it's like, you blew air in his direction. Like, you barely brought it up. And
he's like talking like he wore a suicide vest to dinner and was like, if you don't renegotiate the Iran nuclear deal, I will kill everyone in this building.
Oh my God.
Like, he did not push in any meaningful way.
No, I mean, like, when I was watching this week's episode, like, it just made me, the kids just, like, hit a lot harder.
Okay, well, we'll get to the...
Okay.
We'll get to...
Sorry.
Yes. Okay, so that's all the news, because we can't just talk about that the entire time.
No,
but I could... Although I will say, so... Piers Morgan is sucking up to him so hard. He is brown-nosing him to a disgusting degree.
Up to Bill Maher?
Yes.
Okay.
It's revolting.
Why?
Because, like, he's like, oh, it's just so great. And can you imagine someone saying this about you? It's because Piers Morgan has no soul. And it is also because, I'm going to say it, Piers Morgan is the worm of the week. I don't normally go off of other things. I watched 8 minutes, and I went, if this man were walking towards me on the street, I'd be like, what up, worm? Like, he is a worm.
Sorry, I feel like I'm, like, podcast listener turned guest. I should not be
I will also
referencing this much.
Yes, this is, Karen and I have been friends for a long time as well. I did not go like, I should get a fan on the show.
Yeah. To be clear, I'm like texting Will my thoughts, like, instead of reaching out in a official capacity. But I had always wondered if you actually played in real time the Worm of the Week lead up.
Oh.
But you edit that in.
Yes.
In my mind, I was playing it.
What, you think I have like a guitar in my office?
I don't know, maybe you had it queued up on your computer and like, I don't know.
No, because I like to have too much fun. I like to play around with it too much and how I use it. I like to taunt.
No, the timing is key.
I like to taunt people with it and have it suddenly jump in.
I was not expecting that, but...
And then YouTube will block me from posting that episode because they're like copyright claim. And it's like, I don't think this band exists anymore. Like, I don't think the label does. The movie, I think, is in the public domain. How is its theme song not?
I don't know.
But, I mean, as I say that, I realize that's a ridiculous thing to say.
Piers Morgan, like, I don't...
He has no soul. To me, he's a guy who
has, I don't know, he has, like, weird, like, moments of...
Clarity? It's because he exists exclusively to drive eyeballs to what he's doing.
Sure.
So he will talk, he will be very critical of the Trump, anything. He'll be very critical of anything because he understands, oh, well, people will be like, wow, can you believe Piers Morgan is saying this? But then he will also, I've made this joke before, but he also will, probably let somebody fuck his wife on camera if he really thinks it'll drive enough eyeballs. Like, that's all he exists to do, is get clicks, get eyeballs, get money.
I mean, that's like the self-cannibalizing like place that we're in with media. Is like, how can we hone people's attention more and more each day? And it's like exponentially like folding into itself.
Yeah, it's just more startling when he does it because he's like this old man instead of, you know, a 22-year-old with a gambling addiction on Kick. We got to go to questions now.
Okay.
First question, the question I ask every guest. Prior to being asked to be on the podcast, what is
I really asked you, but...
listen, it's the same question. It's the same question for every guest. What is your personal history with Bill Maher?
Okay, so I graduated high school 2007. So Bill Maher, my family didn't... I don't think we regularly watched Late Night with Bill Maher. Like late night shows.
Real time with Bill Maher.
Yeah.
Please.
Show
a little respect.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Politically real, unreal. Politically unreal.
That is always to me a moment when someone seems very old, when they will mix up the name of a late night talk show. When they'll be like, you know, I was watching Kimmel tonight, and it's like all these. You reach a certain age, and all the words of all the different shows and the hosts just blur together.
Yeah.
To the point where people, you know, I've heard lots of. This is a much older guy thing. Like it's for like men who are in their 60s, but they will call Jon Stewart John Daly, because at a certain point, it goes even beyond being like, you know, on late Kimmel. It becomes a thing where the person's actual name also combines with the name of the television show.
Okay, yeah. So late night wise.
But it's a thing I've only seen men do, so you may be safe from that late stage form of the curse.
Great. Happy to keep my brain.
Well, I didn't say that.
Yeah. So like in terms of like late at night shows.
Okay. Sure. I did jump all over you for
it's
one
fine.
quick mistake.
I can take it.
Well, I've got 20 more minutes on this then.
Sure. Oh, there was a cat.
Yeah.
It was like Leno. Sorry.
Well, no, I know. 1 second.
Jay Leno, Letterman, Conan, and like SNL.
Yes. No Craig Ferguson.
No.
Or Craig Kilborn.
No.
Okay.
And like, you know, The Simpsons and like, I don't know. I grew up, like, my dad really liked comedy and late night shows. And so, yeah, like I was like surrounded with comedians, like stand-up comedians. Not surrounded by, but like, we were always like putting on the Brian Regan album with the like...
Free snow cone! Free snow cone at the end of the game!
Whatever. The geese and the geeses and the... Whatever.
That was a bad blasting zone.
Bad blast.
We lost Billy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I call middle. I call back. Feet on the hub.
Yeah.
'Cause that was me. Anyway, so like, but then like, growing up in like at my mom's house, like, we didn't really talk about politics, but like, Fox News was always on, but also MSNBC, but also like, we would watch like, you know, The Apprentice and like Fear Factor, which is just so funny because like Joe Rogan and Trump were there at the beginning.
They're just goofs.
And like I've always like the reality TV shows came from like the actor strike, I think, the SAG strike.
It was the writers.
The writers
Guild strike.
It was a response to that.
Yeah, in like 2002, I think.
Yeah. But like, yeah, so I loved The Apprentice. I know that's not Bill Maher, but like.
So you were a bit of like an apolitical news household.
Yes.
Where it was like, yeah, we get our news from all kinds of sources.
Yeah, I mean, like, I was made to understand that they were liberals and Democrats, but like, I don't know, it was just kind of, the news was always on. Sometimes an adult would like comment on something, but it wasn't like we discussed politics.
Yes.
So I just kind of was like soaking up stuff that I heard on the news and like parroted it or whatever. But like Bill Maher specifically was not like in the roster of shows. But I was familiar with all the like new rules, I think, that like...
His great cultural contribution.
That like floated to the top. But honestly, like I've never really watched Real Time at all, probably. Like it's been on like in passing, but I didn't see Religulous. So like he's just kind of been like a peripheral like figure.
Mhm.
So like to me, he just sucks, but he's like over there, you know? So I guess that's my
So it was essentially like no real history with him.
yeah, just kind of like he's out there.
Yeah. Although you did mention, oh my God, Vita, you did mention, is it that so? Your dad's house was the comedy house.
Mhm.
So would it be more likely where maybe you would have encountered Bill Maher there because he was more of a late night comedy
Yeah.
thing than okay.
Because like we were up late and it was on. My dad didn't really like the Daily Show, but my brother liked the Daily Show, and so there was just kind of like like South Park, Simpsons, like Dennis
Dennis Miller.
Leary.
Okay. So it was maybe a slight chance because one house was a comedy house and he's a little bit comedy, and the other house was more of a news house and he is a little bit news. So there was like a slight chance you might come into contact with him in the house.
You know, I caught him like in passing.
Yeah.
Like
two ships in the night.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think that's what that means. Okay. So then we're going to go to the judgment-free question zone. These are 3 questions. They're written just for you. They might apply to other people, but I've written them just for you.
Okay.
Whatever your answer, no judgment from me, other people. I can't make any promises. First question. So Bill Maher considers himself something of an environmentalist. You have been active...
Sorry, I just rolled my eyes for the listeners.
The tiny head shake as well. You've been active with lots of different groups and have taken a personal interest in things related to the environment, waste. Big gardener.
Yeah.
Love of plants. So you're working with an environmental group. He offers the group a bunch of money for whatever program, on the condition he wants to be the face of the program. And he wants to be the face of the program because it is, like this moment, a cultural moment where he's taking a lot of heat. Not for, like, criminal reasons, but just everybody is making fun of him and being like, get a load of this asshole. So he wants to use this as a bit of an image rehabilitation. That's it. He's not involved in the actual planning of the campaign. I'm not going to get specific on what the campaign is, so that I don't get locked into something where you're like, oh, well, who cares about that kind of thing anyway. Do you take the money? Or do you encourage the group to take the money?
Right, because that's
they're really like...
It's not my group, but it's a group I'm involved with.
Yes. And they're like, we've always thought of you as a bit of a consigliere. Your words have a lot of sway here.
I would say that if, at this point in my life, if I was involved with an environmental group, we don't like Bill Maher, or like the fact that he just had dinner with Donald Trump.
Yes.
And spoke positively about his experience. And like, so I would think that him being involved with whatever project would be like opposed to the actual principles of the group and would actually discredit the group to accept both like the money and to be okay with him using us as like a redemption arc.
He loves to fly.
The heck? Okay. I think this is pretty good. Desaturated became Boris Johnson. Yeah, I kind of... There's just a certain look like old white dudes get, and they can kind of all really resemble each other. It comes down to like these few little details that set them apart, you know? It could be as simple as a little extra color in the face, or a little saturation, a little tweak of the eye. Yeah, it's interesting. I wish you guys could smell through the internet sometimes. You'd be able to smell what's cooking in my kitchen. and it's pretty nice. I'm gonna get up and go stir it, but I think we've pretty much got Donald. I don't really want to overwork these guys. I think if you look at it and you think, God, that's an ugly picture of Trump, then I'll think that's enough. That's satisfying. We're gonna do the same thing with Bill and Dersh. But so let's save it for now. And I'm gonna take a little quick break.
Private as well. He talks about how he will not fly commercial.
Right.
He got mad at Bill Burr for flying commercial.
So I think we would actually ShamWow some of the heat for even accepting the money. So I would say no.
Okay. Feel it would be more damaging than the money would be beneficial.
Yes.
Second question. It's a similar question. And I'll get into why the questions are kind of similar. So this is you're a filmmaker. You know, you're always saying, man, it is just so fucking easy to get money for projects. It's so funny to get things, easy to get things made. It's never an issue. I'm like rolling around in cash.
Yep.
Be that as it may, Bill Maher is offering no strings attached, or somebody with Bill Maher's production company. They're like, we want to finance this film. Full-length film, short film, whatever you've got on the burner right now, and in your mind would be the thing you would want to make it in the current moment. It's from his production company. They're like, the only thing is, you just have to, and this person you like, who from his company, they seem all right. You have to have a meeting with him. You have to have dinner with him at his house. Do you, one, take that money, and two, think you could get through the dinner well enough that at the end he is still like, yeah, offer them the money?
Damn. I'm wincing through this whole question. Okay, can I ask some clarifying questions?
Always.
Okay. Do I have to do I have to put the production company in the credits?
So, yes. I can't remember what they're called now. They used to be called Kid Love Productions. It's not that anymore.
Oh my God.
Yes.
When was that? What could that possibly have been well-intentioned as?
Emily Heller and I talked about this because she was the one who pointed it out. I would wager it was, the two schools of thought are, it was some sort of nickname he had, or because he thinks of himself, to be crass, something of a pussy freak. So he might be like, I'm Kid Love. Or it might be a joke because he hates children and has hated children his whole life.
I think it's probably that one.
You think it's he dislikes kids?
Kid.
And it's like a joke?
Oh, it's like Kid Rock.
Kid Rock,
I'm
yes.
thinking okay, I don't use that
Yes, it's not a thing of he thinks of himself as
word structure.
He likes to get laid and with children,
Kid
so
Rock.
he called his production company Kid Love.
Kid Love.
I think, he would be the Kid Love.
I don't.
I don't know what
name.
it's called now.
Okay,
it's probably just like Bill Maher Productions or something.
Oh my God. You're not making this. Okay. Club Random Productions.
Yeah.
I mean, probably.
Which one would be worse, Bill Maher Productions or Club Random Productions?
Oh my God. I mean, Club Random, at least there's some people who may not know.
Yeah, let me make this easier for you. There's a lot of people who may not know.
Okay. So just taking the money, I would be like, how can I get people to not just know about it?
And the guy from the company even says, he's like, I don't even know if, odds are good, he's not even going to be at, he won't even come to the premiere or whatever.
Okay. Pivoting to the dinner.
Okay.
I just got 1,000-yard stare, sorry.
It's okay. A motorcycle just stopped at the stoplight in front of our apartment.
Oh God, I don't know I don't know if I could be in a room alone with him.
You're not, so you're with your producing partner.
Okay.
That is genuinely a part of the mental image I had in my brain.
I don't know. I don't know if I could control my face around him.
I'll say, I agree. I don't know if you could control your face either.
I'm a very expressive person, and this is something that is true about me, that I really react without filter.
I'll say I've never heard anybody go, I just don't know how Karen feels about that.
Am I really that expressive?
Yes.
Is that something you know or think about me?
I mean, that's a joke. It's not like I've ever been talking to somebody about one of your personal beliefs, but certainly.
But I react to things.
Yeah, I've never been hanging out with you, and I'm like, oh, they're so stone-faced today.
Sure. Oh yeah. Okay. I actually once was an extra in a film, and they like put me in a featured spot in the background, and it was a Lonely Island film, and one of them gave me the direction. Can you make your face not look like a Muppet? And in front of everybody.
Oh, that's like.
And I was so embarrassed and just crushed.
God, that's like. Do you know Tony Sam?
No.
He'd have casting directors be like, could you stop? Could you not
Just
do
stop.
that voice? Could you? I mean, kind of. They'd be like, could you do it again, but without the voice? And he'd just be like, well, that's what I sound like.
Anyway, yeah, I really don't think I could control my face. So I don't even know.
But do you try? This is the fundamental question.
Okay.
Do you make... Oh, I guess the question was, do you think you could succeed at it? But I guess since you seem to be saying you don't think so, I will then ask, do you make the attempt?
My stomach hurts. So I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I'm going to listen to my conscience.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be a no for me, dog.
Okay. So this is the final one. This is the one, I like to have a little fun with it. Sometimes I get a little crazy. Here's the thing, though. You are not... I was surprised when you when you originally said, I want something to promote before I asked to do the podcast.
Wow, you said it on the podcast.
And then 5 weeks later, you were like, I just got to talk about this. I'd love to just do it.
I was just in it. I was just just next episode.
So I say that because that's not surprising. But the thing with this is, what I was surprised about is, you're not someone I think of as particularly aggressive. You're also not someone who is particularly outwardly angry a lot. The times I've seen you angry, you tend to be directing it inwards. So
real.
Yes. So usually this question is something about do you hit him with your car? Do you steal from him? Mm-hmm. None of those behaviors seem like the kind of thing you would partake in, just because, like I said, it feels like the kind of thing where you would be like, I'd want to, but I would feel ill despite the fact I would want to do it. So, but we did earlier address, you're a very earthy person. Mm-hmm. You like nature. You have a huge garden in your backyard.
Yes.
And the kind of garden where it's not you don't have a Beverly Hills pristinely manicured. You have
No, I'm a chaos gardener.
Yes, you have a garden that is that is how nature presents itself.
Yes.
If allowed to.
Yes.
And is thriving under good conditions. Because it's a good-looking garden. It's a very healthy-looking garden.
Thank you. The soil is primo.
So here's the question.
Okay.
You have this garden. One day, you're out there and you're like, what is this strange plant? I don't think I planted this. But seeds get into gardens. And you're like, oh, great, look at this. A new, probably, not local plant, native plant. So you keep tending to it, It's getting big. Mm-hmm. And one day, the plant starts to resemble Bill Maher. And you're like, this is fucking insane.
This is unhinged.
This is so crazy. But you're like, this isn't, what is this? This is an incredible thing. A plant that looks like a person. You keep taking care of it until one day, as you're watering it, you're sort of tilling the soil around it, you hear this plant go, they're protesting for Hamas. But it is still a marvel of and wonder of science and nature. But my question is, do you continue to encourage it to grow, or do you sort of cordon it off in a safe way and then light it on fire?
Damn. This is unhinged. Wow. Okay, because I do kind of talk to plants.
Sure. Of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
You know me.
Yes.
And it's hard for me to believe that a plant would be so hateful. I just think they're pure. Like, they're pure energy. They're like, invasives are just in the wrong place. They've been brought there and they're just doing their best or whatever. Here's what I would do.
Okay. Sure, and you can come up with some other plan if you want.
Because you talked about my anger. I mean, most people have said they've never seen me angry.
Mm-hmm. So to the listener, I'm sorry about all the meowing. My wife's in the backyard, and it's close enough to dinner that the cats are being demonic at the moment.
Yeah. No, I like them. They're good entertainment. Okay. With the anger, like, it's just like an emotion that I've definitely struggled to connect with.
Mm-hmm.
But it has, like, I'm cultivating it like a plant.
Mm-hmm.
If the plant, I imagine, like, it's like more and more, the more I tend to it, the more it looks like Bill Maher.
Yes.
Okay.
But you don't know, at this point, you don't know what the end result will be.
Oh.
Like, I'm not saying you're growing a full Bill Maher clone. If this will simply be sort of like sort of modern Frankensteinish, because in the original Frankenstein he was quite eloquent.
I mean, it's like a Seymour, like,
yeah.
Little Shop of Horrors.
Is it
situation.
like a Seymour? Is it just going to be a Bill Maher-esque plant that can only mutter a few Bill Maher phrases?
The whispering and muttering is concerning to me.
You wouldn't enjoy it if you were tending to your garden and you heard a plant go, "New rule"?
Yeah, I don't want that shit in my sanctuary.
Sure.
And it's, I mean, I thought it was a native at first, but it's not. It's a Bill Maher.
I mean, I don't know that I would classify it as a native plant.
Right. And
He is originally from New Jersey, so.
Yeah, and so I you know, if I pulled him out,
mm-hmm.
his energy would just simply restart and rejoin the collective basket of whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he could do better next time.
So you would...
Or...
Oh, okay.
If... I hate his finger when he points.
Mm-hmm.
So I might get some enjoyment out of pruning the finger off. That's kind of the only, like... and this is a bit. The only impulse I get is to kind of, like, push the finger back
mm-hmm.
when it comes out.
I like that you clarified this is not a credible threat on Bill Maher's safety.
I'm on fucking record here, you know. But that creates a visceral reaction. Was when he points his finger.
Mm-hmm.
I feel a little bit violent.
Okay, so you would pluck it out. You would uproot the plant and cut off its finger.
I'd prune it.
Okay.
Strategically. Here's the thing. I mean, I'm not, like, anti, like, pulling plants out.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't serve the space, the harmony of the other plants, like, it's gone.
Okay.
You know? It's about listening to the greater environment, and having a Bill Maher plant would be not good for the greater environment of the space and the other plants. You can guarantee those plants hate this motherfucker. So, yeah, I'd probably get rid of him.
Okay.
Put him in the green bin.
All right. Oh boy.
I mean, him meaning the
yes, the plant.
Plant
yes.
representative.
Yes. To clarify, at no point, nothing's been edited. At no point was Karen making any statements about the actual real Bill Maher.
No.
The person. Great. That's the judgment-free question zone. Now we move on to bulk of the show, the real-time recap. Before we get into that, though, real quickly, topics this week covered. Topics covered. I said that sentence and just moved the words all around into the wrong order. Topics covered this week are: was Bush being fed debate answers through an earpiece? How dangerous is media consolidation? They want you to be sick. The goddamn stupid fucking pointless presidential debates, establishing a timetable for Iraq, Mary Cheney, and doomsdayers. And now some numbers. 20 million Iraqis free from torture, quote unquote. $10 million estimated to have been paid in a settlement to Andrea Macris after she sued Bill O'Reilly. 38,253 fatalities caused by car accidents in 2004. 64 stations owned by Sinclair Broadcasting. 10 monologue jokes, 5 new rules, and 1 weird aside to Jesse Jackson. So this is Real Time Season 2, Episode 20, broadcast on October 15th, 2004. As always, we go through it in order. First thing, the opening sketch.
Yes.
You remember the opening sketch? Any thoughts on the opening sketch?
Yes, I took a lot of notes. First note, ew.
Okay.
I just wrote ew.
Was it at the site of George Bush?
No, it was actually before that. It was during the raw, outspoken, uninhibited.
It's people. It's really sexual, right? Like, it's weird how horny the.
Yeah, but it's also just like self-important. Just like,
sure,
get ready for this no limits.
Dangerous.
You know,
unfiltered. Fathers lock up their daughters.
Yeah, it's like, get ready, you know, and whatever.
Yes, it's bracing you for the fucking most intense thing you could possibly experience.
Yeah, and I'm just like...
And then it's some weird dork.
Yeah.
Who loves the news.
Yeah. Okay, first note was, I wrote master debater. Yuck.
So, yeah, it was, the opening sketch was an infomercial for a 3 DVD set of the best of George W. Bush debating.
Okay, but specifically, it said, it was from the debate, and the quote was, I know how these people think. And then it was supposedly examples, how I interpreted it was that the boxed set was just how he knows that people think.
I think it was just that, it was more simply that he is a bad debater, and a bad speaker generally.
Oh.
But I think I understand where some confusion might be, because watching this, it's like, I understand they only have the debate to pull from, but none of these are particularly funny, dumbass things that he says.
No.
It's very forced.
Very forced. And
you think about classic George H.W. I mean, David Twitty rattled off like 3 just off the top of his head, like, you know, to put food on, you know, it's hard in America to put food on your family. Like, you know, fool me once, don't fool me again.
Right.
Or fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice. You can't get fooled again. Like, he has all these iconic quotes, and this...
The way it was edited, I guess, like, it felt like the premise was, we heard George Bush say, I know how these people think, and then went into all these clip.
Yeah, I mean, I could be wrong.
No, you're probably right. It was, like, I watched it twice.
I mean, I definitely could be wrong then.
And this was how I interpreted it, was like, these aren't examples of how he knows people think.
Yeah, so then oh my, Vida, please.
Meow.
Like, I'm sure she's outside a room that nobody is in, but the door is closed, so she assumes someone's in there. The dumbest animals in America.
Okay, with your premise, it does make more sense. But, okay.
But it's not very funny, the things he says.
No.
Like,
I forgot Poland. I love our values. Okay, I don't know if I should bring this up now or later. But he says, I haven't gotten a flu shot.
Okay, yes. So this is a strange thing. I thought about this too, because it seems like, so if the premise of the sketch is, look at these dumb things he says, and one of them is him going, I didn't get a flu shot, I'm not going to get a flu shot. And I remember thinking, well, this is strange because Bill Maher is openly anti-vaccine.
Yes.
And I was like, I mean, maybe he's one of those guys where he's like, vaccines will kill you, but he'll be like, I mean, with the flu shot, who cares? Like, flu shot's been around forever. What's going to happen? Later on, he specifically says, don't get the flu shot.
They're bad for you.
They're bad for you.
So I'm like, who wrote this? If Bill Maher had seen the script one time, he would have been like, don't put that.
Or it's the kind of thing where it's like, does he not have any authorial voice? Like, it's I think he should have taken it out, not because I agree with him or think it's right or even think that is...
It's just consistent.
Yes, just to simply be consistent with his view. It's real time with Bill Maher. It's not real time with Bill Maher with contributions from his writers, so judge each bit and consider maybe someone else wrote this.
Too long.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Doesn't flow.
No one, too long.
But yeah, but it's like, okay, what is the premise? Is the premise that George W. is an idiot?
Yes.
Then why would you include a statement that you fully believe yourself?
So now there are two pieces of evidence for why you would have, why anybody might think it's not just look at these dumb things he says, because yes, as you have pointed out, he says something Bill Maher would be like, no, that's a smart. Thank God a president is finally saying, don't get a vaccine.
I mean, so if the premise was George Bush claims that he knows how the people think, that's his claim for why he should be president, because he's like, he relates to the American people.
Yeah.
And then he goes on to say all these unrelatable things, which aren't unrelatable. Like, people who don't know geography, don't know where Poland is, that's relatable.
We've come up with...
I love our values, that's relatable. I haven't gotten a flu shot. Tons of people don't get flu shots. Like, those are he does know how people think, the general public of America.
So what we have done is come up with two entirely different possible interpretations as to what the joke of this sketch is.
And they both don't work.
It genuinely fails on multiple levels.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's the opening sketch.
I'm surprised they didn't have, like, okay, hold on. And they said, okay, I wrote, the audience is screaming laughing.
Okay.
Not an appropriate response.
So I would like to move on to the opening monologue then, since you've mentioned the screaming, because...
Okay, wait. I have one more thing.
Okay.
They make fun of his, like, he mixed up, like, he said, like, mixed messages.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes.
I'll just table that, and then we can go into the monologue.
Yes. I imagine you will point out that Bill Maher fucking flubs all the time.
Twice in, like, 30 seconds. So they just made fun of George W. Bush mixing up his words.
So I'll say I am also, you can talk about that. I can't really do it because I make fun of him for his flubs and also flub all the time.
But it's like
to the point where I have an entire running bit where I cut in as if I am leaving myself a voicemail correcting something.
I do. Yeah, that's a good bit.
I stole that from the last podcast I did with Diego. So the monologue, the reason I wanted to segue over to the monologue is because it starts...
One more thing, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Master Debater, the first joke, or the first thing I wrote down, I had to look it up. It's actually from the film Austin Powers from 2002.
Oh, a joke!
It's been 2 years.
It's a joke that has been around forever.
But I don't know, I had to find the source. Anyway, I was like...
Jesus.
Okay, go for it.
Cat just jumped at me quite aggressively. So I wanted to say, because you mentioned the screaming, during the monologue, a woman screams as if she's being killed 3 times.
I literally wrote, a woman is being murdered.
At 3:25, 3:30, and 3:33, a woman screams.
Shrieking.
Like, it's...
into the air.
It's really unsettling.
Very, very.
Imagine if you're standing next to that person. Like...
Are you okay, ma'am?
Yeah, you'd be like, don't ever do that again at a taping. Yeah, okay.
I said the audience pans are making me nauseous.
Okay, it's weird, right? That the audience, it pans across it in one direction, then it cuts to the camera on Bill Maher, then it cuts back to a pan, but it pans in the other direction.
It's like a trapeze artist with a camcorder.
Yes, it is exactly like a trapeze artist with a camcorder. Like, and a camcorder that as they swing, they sort of rotate it to make sure you're getting it from the other POV.
I bet there's like a grip that's like, this rig rocks.
you swinging across the audience
Yeah.
and then like spinning, or
Yeah.
like somebody turns a crank and you wheel around.
Which, like, good for them, but it,
I got no smoke for the crew.
no,
a cruise,
not at all.
Except for at one point during the panel where I do with the crew, I'm like, okay, this is a crazy mistake to still be making. So the monologue, do you have any general thoughts on the monologue otherwise, or should I just go through the jokes?
I said...
And then feed my awful cats.
I said his mic is dropping out.
Yes.
It's like muffly immediately.
I'll say that kind of stuff has grown on me a little bit, only because I appreciate that it is that live.
That's true.
This show is very live.
I accept that, yes.
He hasn't...
No, that's very true.
At one point, when he's talking to Garrison Keillor later, there's like an echo on Garrison Keillor's setup. And I just remember being like, this show is fucking live, man.
Yeah.
Because these are Bush League mistakes to have happening.
Okay, there's a weird pause after his first joke. I said he doesn't look comfortable on stage.
Well, he's only been doing it for 30 years at this point.
Yeah, you don't bomb. I'm quoting.
I don't. Okay,
I'm quoting your
this
intro.
30 years. You don't bomb. Oh, yeah? Oh, fuck, you guys are killing me right now. And to do that right after my jaw made a weird noise, as I was saying, you don't bomb. So, the first joke you mentioned, he goes, the debates are over. That's why you're so excited, right? These debates reminded me of the CSI franchise. The first one was okay. The second one was more of the same. The third was, how much of this crap do we have to watch? Whatever. Like,
no reaction.
I just can't, you can't muster strong feelings about, you want to start with that, I wouldn't, but it's not like there's a lot of better stuff. If that had been in the middle of the monologue, I would have been like, yeah, man, that's where you put that. Second joke, Bush is so relieved the debates are over that today the radio on his back was playing soft rock.
Yes. Okay.
Do you remember the George Bush being fed answers in an earpiece controversy?
Okay, I had to look it up, and I found a Salon.com article, and they found, like, a NASA scientist to, like, analyze the photo.
Who cares, man?
And then the BBC were, like, basically just, like, regurgitating the, like, Bush team's, like, comments or whatever.
Yeah.
That, like, it was a wrinkle or something in the fabric. Are we talking about that, or are we talking about the joke?
Okay, well, we'll talk about the joke. I only mentioned it because when they said it, I was like, the radio on his back? At first I thought they were comparing him to Radio from the film Radio and implying he has a mental disability.
Oh my god.
And then I was like, wait, no, I remember this. They showed it, because they showed a picture not long after too, but people thought that, oh my god, he's jumping against the door. People thought that he had a radio, essentially a receiver on his back, and an earpiece in, and he was being fed answers.
Or that it was the NASA scientist said this, in the article that I read. Sorry.
Imagine caring if the president has an earpiece in and he's like...
I mean, I think at the time that would have been a big deal.
Oh, at the time it would have been a huge deal. I mean, imagine, like, we've lived through so much that now we'd all be like, oh, thank God, they have somebody giving them good answers.
Yes, that's true. They're like, oh, prepared. Anyway, okay. They said it was like a wire leading up to his neck. Like there wasn't an earpiece.
Yes.
And I was like, so there's just a tiny speaker? Like how would that not get picked up by the actual mic? Like how would it be quiet enough for George Bush to, I don't know, the logistics of it.
They gave him dog ears right before the debate, so it's at a frequency only a dog could hear.
Yeah. I just, the logistics of it felt like wild. But
I'm sure it was a fun conspiracy. There's some conspiracies where it's like...
it does not look like a wrinkle.
No, it's very wide. It's really
a bulge.
Weird. Yes. It's definitely not just a wrinkle. Or he put his belt on backwards, and that's like a big longhorn buckle or something.
Or like he had spinal issues or something.
Yeah, he
was hiding a...
He's got like a spinal tumor, and they didn't want the country to know the president had horrific spine cancer.
Yeah. Okay, but the joke.
Yes.
Okay.
Why soft rock?
It would have been better if he said relaxed instead of relieved.
Right.
Because he was relaxed, the debate's over, you could kind of like argue that, and you could be like, oh, so relaxing, soft rock or whatever. Or like smooth jazz, or I don't know, like relieved.
Yeah, relieved makes it seem like yeah,
It does not make sense.
I heard relieved, and yeah, to me it was like relieved. It's like almost a sense of triumphant music or something he would be playing, or I don't know. I didn't even make the connection that you were now explaining, that it was because he was like,
Yeah.
So the next joke, oh my god, an insanely long rambling setup about the lump under Bush's jacket.
Oh yes.
And then he goes, boy, I'll tell you, if God has a sense of humor, it could only be cured by stem cells. So I fucked up the delivery of that punchline, so here it is properly so that the joke actually does make sense.
We still don't know what the deal is with that thing in Bush's back, but I tell you, if God has a sense of humor, it is something that can only be cured with stem cell research.
Oh, the irony that W is against
Stem
cell
cells.
research, which I did a deep dive on.
True. Yes.
And I forgot about that period of time. Not that we don't have like stem cell research now, but
Where people were being like, Michael J. Fox is lying about his Parkinson's symptoms.
Really, I didn't.
Rush Limbaugh accused him of Rush Limbaugh, and I think maybe Ann Coulter accused him of exaggerating his symptoms, because they played an ad where he didn't take his Parkinson's meds, and he essentially was like, stem cell research is an integral part of trying to cure what I am suffering from.
Yeah.
And it was like a very raw, just real look at like what like later stage Parkinson's looks like, and he was accused of faking it.
Love it. And no, and also just wishing that the president has an incurable disease that anybody else could have also.
But also not even like
that'll show him.
Yeah, and then he goes,
"Oh, I kid the president." Oh, you know that.
Yes, I kid the president because he can't really say anything about the president. It's scowy.
I don't. So then he goes, in the debate, Kerry stole some of Bush's ideas, Bush stole some of Kerry's ideas, and both of them stole Howard Dean's idea to take the subject of lesbians and beat it to death. And I was like, what is he referring to?
Such a long sentence.
He's had Howard Dean on like 4 times.
Oh,
I don't ever remember him talking to Dean about lesbians. Being like, so you're really talking about lesbians a lot, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know the reference.
Because that then leads into...
We finally have a scandal in this election, Lesbogate.
Lesbogate.
This is truly one of those things. It's like, when was the last time you heard somebody just be like, oh, a couple lesbos?
Him, like 10 minutes before the show, probably.
It's just like, that's the kind of thing. It's like so dated, but it's because while they were talking about same, as they put, it's also weird hearing
you just
them,
add gate to the end of everything, like
they're talking about, as it was known then, same-sex marriage.
Yes.
I guess John Kerry mentioned Dick Cheney's daughter, who is a lesbian, when they were talking about whether or not being gay is a choice, and the Cheneys were very angry and said they are so proud of their daughter that she must never be mentioned in public.
Yes.
So this is
okay.
Come up on the show before, this thing of the Cheneys having to hide their daughter.
And for context, because I had to look into this, W was trying to support or
a constitutional amendment
to ban gay marriage, but it would allow like civil unions or whatever, but it would be a federal ban on the word marriage.
Yeah, and his one of his like high-ranking aides or something wrote a book about serving in the Bush administration, and he says specifically that during that election season, George Bush was literally saying like, I don't want to tell. He's like, why? I don't want to tell anybody they can't get married. Like, what do I care? And it's like, wow, what a bad guy he is. That he like.
It's like totally like Veep. Like you see the behind the scenes.
Some point, they were referencing an undisclosed location a lot as a way to not admit that they had fucked something up.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing where they fucked so much shit up and tried to use truly Orwellian language to speak as if they had not, that like, it's to the point where you're like, I don't even really need to know the reference just because have such a sense of how the members of the Bush administration spoke. And he also goes,
We joke here.
Yeah, I wrote that down.
next joke, Dick Cheney feels responsible for making his daughter... Okay.
Wait, hold on. I wrote Bill Maher is like a jester ducking and avoiding the staff of the king.
Was he like bobbing and weaving a lot?
No, just like it's consistent. His whole like we joke, like
yes.
distancing yourself, like I'm not gonna get too close.
Hey, I'm just being a stinker.
I'm a little jester, you know.
Yeah, except he's not really criticizing the king very harshly.
No.
So this joke I love, because this joke makes no sense.
Oh, yes.
Dick Cheney actually feels responsible for making his daughter a lesbian because she heard him say, "Go fuck yourself," so much growing up that she finally tried it. And I guess the premise here is that it is gay to masturbate.
It is gay to masturbate. I said, "Go fuck yourself" isn't gay. And then I thought, okay, I said maybe he meant like, go fuck your own kind.
But it couldn't mean that because she hadn't become a lesbian yet, so she wouldn't know that, or she hadn't realized she was gay yet.
I'm really trying to make sense of it.
And listen, I had no idea you would come on and be as perverted as I am about this, where you're like, now the joke was bad, and instead of saying that's a bad joke and moving on, I have tortured the English language and logic along with it to try to find some explanation that makes a little more sense.
This is my problem to a fault. I'm always trying to figure people out.
No, dude.
When I should really just like walk away.
Dude, it's fucking gay to masturbate because by that logic, the only people who can masturbate without it being gay is someone who is in possession of both sets of sexual reproductive organs, like outside of their body, that they can masturbate to the point of orgasm.
Maybe this may say a lot about Bill Maher's inner world.
So much says a lot about his inner world.
If we're looking at specifically like a woman who masturbates is not somebody who's like depending on a man for sexual pleasure, and therefore that must allude to the fact that you are gay.
Okay.
Because you don't like need a man.
Right. Okay. That's a compelling train of thought. I can see him having.
But to claim that like a woman who masturbates might as well be a lesbian is so telling about Bill Maher more than anything.
He is so frequently expressing distaste for lesbians.
Masturbation is like a gateway drug to lesbian.
Yeah, okay. Because, I mean, for sure, he has jacked off. He's talked about it.
He's a man.
Right. Okay. So you have actually introduced some sort of weird logic where you have actually managed to find a potential lane where this does pass an internal logic that is, to be clear, insane.
It's like a spoof of being John Malkovich, being Bill Maher. Oh. I'm inside his brain, and I'm screaming.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about what we might do if we got in control of Bill Maher. But look, I can't just say it's a bad joke. I was just going to talk about it from the window of being like it's just... What the joke is people all the time now will make fun of these current day manosphere guys of, at one point it seemed like a lot of them would be like, you jack off? That's fucking gay, dude. Now it is a point where a lot of these men will literally say it is gay to have sex with a woman.
Yes, I've seen those roller coasters of logic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of them, as we discussed, it's just about getting clicks.
It's like, you like looking at like curly hair?
Yes.
And like makeup?
Yes. Curly hair? Like the pubic hair of a man? Like, really, really the most grim...
Well, it's like those podcasters, modern day podcasters, are like like incel is the most pure form of like heterosexuality.
Well, it's don't be an incel, be a volcel. Make it voluntary.
Oh, my ball cell. What the fuck?
Yes. No one on this show is ever more online than I am.
Objectifying a woman with using AI porn is the most like badass manly thing to do.
Yeah, because the only way you can guarantee no other man has touched the woman you're attracted to, thus making it gay, is if you create her with an AI. Guaranteeing she has only existed for your sexual gratification.
Does everybody know that COVID caused brain damage?
On some level, yes. I think everyone, whether they know it or not, does know that there is COVID-induced brain damage. And also just
I don't mean lockdown-induced brain damage. I mean the virus.
There is, yes, there is like both. Because Bill Maher genuinely did get at least, I suppose not brain damage, but like lockdown psychosis.
Sure.
Where it's like, one of those times it's like, hey man, if you hadn't hated relationships so much, you might have had somebody there you could like count on. Instead, you were just alone with your hollow potential friends to like text with. Next joke. Carrie tried to sidestep the gay question by promising to reduce Elton John to a nuisance. I don't know what the hell he's talking about, and I didn't care to find out.
I mean, that was just like the person he hated that month.
I think at this point in time, it's like Elton John was the gayest man there was.
Okay.
But I don't know what reduce him to a nuisance is referring to.
No, it doesn't make any sense at all.
Like, is that a specific thing the Bush administration?
Oh, like a
terrorism turn? I figured it would probably be related to like the war on terror somehow, because that's what so much of like the cultural language flowed through the Bush administration's war on terror.
I don't have any more energy to deconstruct this particular joke.
It's truly not worth it. Joke number 9. A woman died. So an older woman died while waiting in line to see the Oprah show. And as soon as he said that, I was like, oh my God, we all know what this punchline's going to be. And he goes, but Oprah made it better by promising to give everyone a free hearse.
He said, she gave everybody a free hearse. I don't think it was like gay, like gay. I think he just
slurred a bit.
He just mispronounced the word gave. The only reason I say that is because of the intro sketch where they include a clip of George W. Bush.
It's also worth pointing out because he has been talking about gays and lesbians so much.
Oh yeah, it was on his mind.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, wait. Okay, I wrote down.
What if he'd been like, but Oprah made it better because she sucked a beautiful dick. Everybody a free hearse.
Oh, what did I say? Okay, right after he messed up, the live in the corner popped up. And I don't know if that was an accident or they were just like, remember, it's live.
Whether or not it is, that's perfect.
It was so comedically timed perfectly that I did laugh at that, not the actual joke, because why would you make fun of a dead woman?
But also, I mean, so here's the difference between us. I'd make fun of a fucking dead woman. It's funny. Sorry, I do think it's funny to die waiting in line to go into a TV show. I'm like, I could not imagine. It's like a literal war zone waiting in line to go see a TV show. Those are like the 1 and 2 worst places I could imagine to die, because it's miserable. I mean, it's like, you know, I'm sure you're in the same place where it's like if somebody went, hey, do you want to go see a TV taping? You'd be like, why would you wish that on me?
Get away from me.
Yes. You go to 2 TV tapings in your life, or you're just around them and you're like, I couldn't imagine living like that.
My theater teacher in high school made us all go be studio audience members as a fundraiser for the theater, but it was like mandatory. We had to go.
Yeah.
And because
because it all went to the theater.
The money went to the theater. I'm pretty sure that was
because it all went to the theater.
The money went to the theater. I'm pretty sure that was fraudulent. I don't know. That
doesn't seem legal to make.
No. It was not good.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Okay, sorry.
Yes, that's why I think it's funny. But here's the thing. So the joke is not good, and as you said, you know, you express a little discomfort with the idea of laughing at the death of some random woman.
Yeah.
Who, you know, it's like if it had been like, oh, also she was a pedophile. It's like, oh, okay, well, who cares? There was no additional info to make it a little more okay.
She's just a 70-year-old woman going to the Oprah show. And I guess, okay, it's a hearse, so it's a car, it's a hearse.
Yes, but the joke stinks and anybody can see it coming. It's like the easiest possible punchline. And you get a hearse. Like, he didn't even do to really sell it. Instead, because the crowd doesn't really laugh, and I think a couple people go like, and then they clap. Because when a joke fails, they know how pissy he gets, so they start clapping to try to appease him. It fails because he goes,
"Oh, get over it." I mean,
like, what the fuck, man? Don't be.
That's his line.
When you're like, play along or there are so many.
Bill Maher doesn't play. He's not playful.
No, as I've said before, I feel like it's kind of corny to talk this way, but he has no sense of play. The audience is not, and this is why he is such a bad comedian, because the worst comedians, their opinion is, I do what I do and fuck them if they don't fucking like it. And if you want to be good at stand-up truly, at a certain point you have to realize you are entering into a relationship with the audience. And yes, some relationships are bad, and they just won't like you. There's nothing you can do as a comedian to make it work. But Bill Maher would never.
No, he'd leave halfway through.
Yes, he would never be in the middle of a set and be going, this isn't going great. Why don't I try shifting it? First of all, he doesn't memorize his jokes, so he can't shift into other stuff. But and sometimes you can get you're bombing and you get the crowd on your side by making fun of yourself, and then they're like, you know what? That's a funny guy. Why don't we just go along with this?
Yeah, laughter being the thing you cannot fake, and you make someone laugh. It's involuntary.
Yes. Although I'll say, if you listen to his show now, you will discover you can in fact fake laughter, because that crowd is faking it because they're laughing at things that aren't jokes, and he'll look surprised.
Yeah. I remember seeing a show once, and it was a really terrible turnout, and the host, every time he came out for another 2-minute set or whatever, would yell at us for not
being more
people.
Yes.
And it's dude, I showed up. Why are you mad at me?
Yeah. Not to defend him, his mindset probably was, when he was yelling at you guys, he was thinking about how he was going to have to pay the venue because not enough people came.
Sure.
But still,
it's so awkward though.
No, it's not and
it didn't make me laugh more.
And you're not going to be back.
Yeah. So.
Yes. Also, if nobody's there and the show is going badly, just bring the next fucking comic up. Don't come out and do more time. Everybody just wants to leave.
Yeah.
So last joke. Bill O'Reilly is being sued by a former producer for sexual harassment. He does it weird off the top, being like,
look, Bill and I disagree a lot on political issues, but when it comes to accusations, I don't know who's telling the truth here, so I'm not going to get on the bandwagon.
Bill O'Reilly, you're going to be like, who knows? Who's to say if Bill O'Reilly is a huge piece of shit who sexually harassed his producer?
Was this what ended up, getting fired?
He did this so many more times before they finally had to get rid of him. I think he cost the network something like $60 million in settlements. It was reported as being $45 million. This one...
Yes.
He's clearly actually skeptical, or willing to be like, hey, no judgments. But then he is like...
He's skeptical because she claims...
So it was a former producer who said... He refers to it as, he was doing, involuntary phone sex with her. And it's like, buddy, it's called sexual harassment. Or sexual abuse, even. That's a crime, brother. That's assault. And that could be a traumatic thing. But it's... What he said is, he's like, but I'm skeptical because she said... Bill O'Reilly, during it, was using a vibrator on himself.
Yeah.
Do you want to...
Well, he says, which is crazy because people are used to him pulling stuff out of his ass. And I wrote, I think that's a dildo.
Yes.
Not a vibrator.
So
I guess a dildo can vibrate, but
Yeah, yeah, and maybe it specifically was vibrating, maybe he likes the additional, sort of massaging of his prostate.
Obviously,
But it probably was just a dildo.
True.
Which is, are you, on the phone and I guess you're, Now I'm thinking about
Now
Bill,
we're like really.
yes, being just horrific imagery.
No, it's fine, but like.
So my imagery is Bill O'Reilly on the phone while riding a Sibian. Like he's on the Howard Stern show.
I imagined it was like one of the, I don't know if this was designed at the time, like one of those like vibrating like cock rings or something. I didn't immediately go for the butt, is what I'm saying.
Oh yes.
In my mind.
Yes. Yeah, it is like, yeah, I just wouldn't say used a vibrator on himself. I would have been like, you know, especially if I'm him and have his sensibilities, I would have been like, I'm skeptical because she said while he was saying sexual things to her on the phone, he was fucking his ass with a dildo. Like, I would have been very clear about what
because
maybe you're just rubbing a vibrator on your fucking ball. I don't know, on your balls or whatever.
Yes, and for the like punchline to work, like you have to be very clear before that.
Yes.
That something is going in Bill O'Reilly's ass. That's the only way that because I'm halfway through listening to the punchline and I'm like, oh, that's not where my head was.
Yeah. Yeah, you want it to be very clear, and he could have done it in the same amount of words. Not that he's focused on brevity anyway.
And it was really weakly, like, received.
Mm-hmm.
I said really weak closes of the monologue. Because, it was not like this and this.
He doesn't have good rhythm.
And also, I think he probably should have closed... Nah, they all suck.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the one that did the best was the go fuck yourself gay joke.
Yes.
They all were bad.
Yeah, look, there's no sense in trying to make sense of...
It was a bad monologue.
Yeah, so then we go to an interview with Howard Dean. As always, I would like to remind the listeners, Bill Maher is a coward. He used to call Howard Dean crazy, a lunatic.
Now he's like the founder of our democracy. Or whatever, the next founder of our democracy.
Yes, or he's like, hey, you've got to be upset about John Kerry seeming like he's going to win because that's bad news for you because, you know.
Because you'll have to wait longer. You must be self-serving like me.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. And yeah, it's so he
makes like a Jeopardy joke, which does not land.
Oh yeah,
he doesn't make a joke. He just compares.
He's like, you're the champ. You've been here a bunch of times. You're like our champion. You're like that. Yeah, he's like, you're like that guy on Jeopardy. Nobody can beat him. And the crowd's
then like they don't get it. He's like, like I love whatever discomfort he must feel.
When he's flopping
like when like he feels misunderstood or whatever.
There's a moment later where Garrison Keillor just makes just kind of like a jokey remark.
That reminds me of that old stupid like if you've probably seen this before. It's like freshman answers to like philosophy questions, and or no, it wasn't philosophy. It was like freshman creative writing, maybe, I don't know. But it's like they never met each other. They were just like two butterflies who had also never met each other. All right, we're scooting along. We got this ghoul. It's always interesting to draw someone's glasses because if you look at that little corner, you can there's like a hole in their head. Like the glasses refracts the light such that we have an open space of no face, no skin, no head, right? So it creates a little question for me as to like, should I just get rid of that? Or should I leave that blank? Because I'm not going to do the background yet. I don't know what the background's going to look like. These are the questions we ask ourselves.
To him, and he's so thrown for some reason.
Yeah.
But this one, so he starts by saying he was bothered. It takes him over a minute to finally ask him a question. Because he starts the interview by saying, here's the question I'm not going to ask you. What the fuck? But then he asks him, or he says, I was bothered by what wasn't mentioned during the debate. The drug war, the Sudan, he's referring to the Darfur genocide, the environment, the stranglehold on power that corporations have. And it's like, buddy, why don't you talk about this shit on your show? The only thing from this list he mentions is Sinclair buying a bunch of news stations.
Yeah.
But otherwise, he just does a bunch of horse race shit.
Yeah. Oh, also he refers to both Kerry and Al Gore as droning centrists, which actually I don't know much about Al Gore's platform, but like in hindsight, Al Gore, I just sometimes think about the world if Al Gore had been elected instead of Bush.
Al Gore, I think it was a situation where he distanced himself from Clinton because of the sex stuff, but Clinton was still quite popular at the end of his second term. So I don't think they moved away from Clinton's economic plan so much, because the country was still cutting all those regulations was still paying off in the short term for the country. So John Kerry was definitely the centrist candidate because Howard Dean was there. Gore, I think, was just a more environmentally conscious Clinton.
He also had like really a lot of vision for like the future of the internet or something.
People made fun of him for saying he invented the internet. What it was he was a part of, he either just voted on or helped introduce funding to the program, like DARPA. I think DARPANET, the program that ended up becoming the internet.
Okay.
So it was ARPANET, and he really pushed a program to increase funding for it and access to it, which eventually led to the creation of the internet. So he also, I was shocked, he references his notes during this interview to get the name Vioxx right.
I think that was a bit. I think he like meant to look.
I think he did it on purpose because the only thing he truly cares about is his fucking anti-pharmaceutical stuff.
Yeah. Wait, you're getting ahead.
Yes. Well, I don't have a ton. The interviews I don't have a ton to say about. So I will say what are your points here for the interview you want to get to?
Well, like, so Howard Dean, is like, it's good that Bush doesn't get reobected
yes.
for everybody. He talks about health insurance for every American, and I remembered that like this was before Obamacare, quote, Obamacare, and he says we're the moral leader of the free world, and he's going on this thing, and like Bill Maher, he does this all the time. He goes, well, okay, and like Howard Dean is getting too off track for Bill Maher's like expectation of how. What Howard Dean is supposed to say in this interview. And so he gets like annoyed when they answer.
Which is also crazy because it's like, well, this is what Howard Dean talks about.
Yeah.
This is what people got so attached to him over, was him being like, everyone should have health insurance.
He's not actually curious about anything.
No.
He just wants, and then also he does this thing where like, I don't know if this was now or later.
He's like scripted the interviews in advance in
his
head.
And then he gets mad when they don't answer the way he wants.
It's the same way if during the panel, if they're having too much of a discussion about something, they'll be like, okay, but I was trying to talk about how we're all so fat now. And it's like, well, sorry they're being interesting.
Sorry they're like coming up with their own thoughts.
Yeah, sorry they're doing what they're supposedly meant to be doing here.
He's like, you didn't read the teleprompter. What if they had lines?
Yeah, they have earpieces in.
I wrote, I hate that fucking finger. Because he, like, gets it. He's just, like, it's in Howard Dean's. It's just so...
And He's made jokes about, he's like, enough with the thumb thing. And it's like, well, that's why they made the thumb thing.
Yeah, it's
a finger's aggressive. The thumb thing, it's like, hey, buddy, I'm looking at you.
Howard Dean doesn't give him the quote right response, and he goes, he brings up No Child Left Behind. And I said, why did that get a laugh? I guess the gag that he's maybe been pushing is that's kind of Bush's answer for everything?
Yes. Yeah, that was, I think the joke they were going for.
So it's
there.
like, oh, here we go again.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Howard Dean being like, even when they did ask the worthwhile questions, Bush would just go, no child left behind.
Yeah. One thing that I liked that Howard Dean...
So at one point, Howard Dean goes, I'm also frustrated by the things that don't get talked about. Like,
oh, yeah.
He's like, you know, car fatalities are like the number one cause of death in this country, and it's never talked about as an issue that could be solved.
Yes, okay, and that's actually, that was related to what I liked that he touched on was optics versus net impact.
Yes.
Because Bill Maher's like, well, they don't, mention things. He's like, well, sometimes politicians will mention everything so as not to get in trouble, but they won't say anything like substantial about any of those things, which is this like the idea of optics versus net impact of like, I'm just going to say it so that it looks like I care, but the net impact is nothing.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty cool to hear from him, knowing that that's like something that just lives in my brain all the time of like, okay, is this politician, present day, like, what is the impact versus opt? And that kind of helps me like filter through the bullshit. And one person woos. I wrote Darfur because I forgot about Darfur.
Yeah, dude, it's like, it's really crazy how rarely it is referenced because like millions of people were displaced and hundreds of thousands of people were really horrifically killed.
Yep.
And then we'll be like, why are there all these Sudanese immigrants trying to come to America as refugees?
Insane. Also, people don't know the difference between a refugee and an immigrant.
Yes.
And they're like, why aren't these refugees like skipping to be a part of this country? And it's like, they were kicked out. Like,
yeah, they might have just stayed where they were if they could.
They would have stayed if they wanted to. There's a huge... Anyway, sorry.
Well, they also get into, Bill Maher's big thing is he starts talking about, healthcare costs. And he says the reason...
Wait.
Okay.
We can do that. I want to go back to Vioxx at some point.
Well, so Vioxx ties into this because he is like...
And to me, none of them are addressing the elephant in the room, which is the reason why health costs are up so much. It's because America is in the slow process of poisoning itself to death. The air is not clean, the water is not clean, our food supply is awful. The things that we put in our body, the aggregate toxicity, I think, is responsible for most of what is going on in our health costs going up. And just the way they used to talk about a military-industrial complex, would you agree that there is some sort of a medical, pharmaceutical, food industry complex where there's a lot of profit in getting us sick and a lot of profit in selling us pills that don't really get us better?
And Howard Dean is like, no.
I do believe there's a medical, industrial, pharmaceutical complex, but I don't think the food industry is part of it. I really don't think that. I'm not much of a conspiracy theorist. I think the food industry puts out plenty of things that are bad for us, but I don't really think they deliberately, that the doctors want to make people sick so then they can get them better and crank up their P&L sheet.
Hasn't he seen Cowspiracy?
Well, so I think it is this thing of like, I have been thinking about this a lot. I got into kind of an argument with a guy about vaccines, specifically like the flu shot, where I was like, look, this is like the safest medicine there is. Vaccines have been around for over 100 years. And particularly flu shots, like, they know how to make them. There's no actual recorded evidence of them being harmful. You also don't get the flu from them. Your body just sometimes mimics the symptoms because it is essentially going to the gym and working out in preparation of actually, if it actually comes into contact with the flu virus. And, like, if medicine intentionally did not work and intentionally harmed people, that would be less nefarious than the actual situation, which is that medicine works and we need it. So pharmaceutical companies go, well, we can just charge as much as we want.
Yeah.
Like, healthcare costs spiral out of control because fuck you. What are you going to fucking do about it?
Right.
And the conspiracy is so much simpler. It's just, well, the costs are so high.
Capitalism.
Yes, because they just can be.
Yeah.
And you have to have it.
Right.
And that's Howard Dean, that's essentially what he's saying. And it's like, he doesn't even disagree that, like, food is, like, much less healthy, and they don't get into the thing of, like, what's harder for people to eat? It's, like, more expensive to eat fruits and vegetables and grains
Yeah.
than to just go to McDonald's and get 2 McDoubles for $3.50.
people will say conspiracy theory, and it's always literally just capitalism.
Like, you don't need to work so hard. It's just...
I mean, it's not planned. It's just a system that continues to grind
people to dust.
And grind people's bones into
a paste
a
that we will then be eating in the future.
Alternative flour, yeah. But like, it's completely tied to class and capitalism and scarcity and forced scarcity or whatever. And also, I don't know, it's just a pet peeve of that, like, chemicals, the word chemical.
Toxicity.
Toxicity is in the dose, people.
We get this buildup of toxicity in our bodies. And it's like, what do you mean? Like, that's true of, if you're talking about mercury, yeah, you build up mercury in your body and it can make you quite ill. But, like, toxins.
So, I'm a gardener, and I actually do, like, grow plants, and I'm always like, oh, are there any medicinal benefits or whatever? And I make tinctures and shit. But, like, it's the same shit. It's, like, they take plant compounds.
Aspirin is like a miracle plant that they discovered.
This shit is made from plants. It's just like, they are separating, this compound from this plant, and they're mixing it with this, and then they're dosing it perfectly every time in a shelf-stable way that is regulated, and then you can take it. Like, taking a tincture of something that's incredibly potent, it's not regulated, like, famously. So, like, it's both. Like, it's all both.
Yeah, it's
a good thing to take the same exact amount of a medicine every single day so that you know how it affects you.
It's the same. It's like when people talk about processed foods. It's like, well, that category is so broad.
Oh my god!
You're talking about like just
ice is processed water.
A brick of tofu. Like, people be like, oh, genetically modified. It's like, buddy, if you eat a pig, it's been genetically modified to be white meat.
Like, the very process of seed saving over the course of thousands of years. I mean, if you've ever looked up, like, what corn used to look like, or what, like, banana used to look like indigenous people all over the world have genetically modified plants to work in their favor. Like, and also just
it's like selective growing.
Frozen fruit is processed. If you fucking turn something into something, it's fucking processed. Like, I don't know, just
it's also one of the
just say fast food.
Because I've and having known you as long as I have, you're one of the most, like, health conscious people I know.
I like to learn a lot about how things work, why things happen, why things were, why things might be, and just, like, so that I can make my own decisions, because I have the information.
Well, if somebody grew up by a factory in Busan in the 70s and is still with us, they have a lot to teach us about respiratory health.
Right.
And
there's still people who went through SARS who are chronically ill. Like, from years ago.
It's
the first one.
It's like, there are, like, so much of the knowledge on how to deal with this stuff already exists.
Yeah.
But instead, so many people are so American, and they go, I have to discover all of this now, new. Like, I have to tackle this on my own, doing all my own research, figuring all my own shit out, because at the end of the day, I only trust myself. And it's like, okay, well, then what a waste of the totality of human history.
But also,
like, what a waste of accumulated knowledge over hundreds of thousands of years.
But also, are you doing the experiments? Like, you are reading other people's information. You can't do it on your own, but also, whatever. I have a theory that one of the reasons why people freaked out so much after, like, 3 weeks in lockdown was because there were some women who had been dyeing their grays and not told their husbands.
So they were like, lockdown is killing my wife?
Or no, that the women didn't want their husbands to find out that they had gray hair.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. That's just one tiny example of, like, the lies that, like, unhappily married people have been telling each other, and, like, everything's gonna fall, and so they're like, I can't, stay home with my second family, so, like, how will I make this work, or whatever.
Yeah, the family I have in Wyoming is really going to start to ask some questions in a month.
If you're not at home, where are you? Anyway.
And all that to say, Howard Dean is very much like, I'm not
Yes.
I'm not going along with this at all.
It's the difference between, like, intentional, like, there's a boardroom of people, like, rubbing their hands together
Yes.
with, like, twirling their little mustaches, and just, like, the system. The fucking system. Like, doctors are authorized to write prescriptions. That's, like, why they go to med school, so they can be knowledgeable enough to write prescriptions. And it's like, then you have specialists, and they don't talk to each other. And so, like, nobody actually wants to figure it out. I've like, gone to the doctor and said, like, I have this issue, I'd like this noted in my record, and they're like, why? I can't prescribe you anything for it. And I'm like, that's not the point. But that's kind of just, like, their job.
Yeah.
They're doing their job.
Yeah, it's also, like, the other thing, too, is it's like, listen, how hard do you try at your job? So, like, if you run into a doctor who doesn't seem to be trying that hard, it's like, yeah, it's because everybody gets fucking, most people get sick of what they do and just switch on to autopilot.
Also, at the beginning, he was like, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but,
Yes.
and then he says again in this,
And then he just describes a conspiracy.
and then says, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Okay, he did make one joke, the Vioxx joke, which I actually thought was really funny. It kind of surprised me. He looks down, he says, the Vioxx, pharmaceutical, which is designed to ease pain and stiffness by killing you.
Yes, by giving you a heart attack or a stroke.
And I thought that was good. I liked it.
And the thing, too, about it as a joke is, even if you're not familiar with Vioxx, it relays all the conversation, or all the information you would need, where you get the joke even if you're unfamiliar.
And it's like, it's unexpected. I liked it. And it was quick and, yeah.
And then, one good joke, that's a pretty good ratio, don't you think, for hosting an hour-long show? You get one good joke?
I didn't laugh, but it was like one of those things where you look and you listen and you go, that's funny. That's funny.
You're like, oh, that's clever.
It was. Yeah, he talks about the disparity of the numbers between only 3,000 people died in 9/11, but 27, well, I checked, it's actually 38,000 people died on Vioxx from a heart attack.
Yeah.
Many, many hundreds of thousands more had heart attacks, but they survived.
Yeah.
And then it was pulled from the market. But
there's a big settlement that got cashed out on Vioxx. It was like
I didn't
crazy.
really know about this at the time, but I wrote, so he understands death tolls and how we prioritize certain things over certain things, but really just does not give a shit about Palestine.
Oh, yeah. A constant thing. It's like, he'll say these things, and you'll be like, well, I know one group of people you don't apply this to. Like, I recently watched a thing where he was like, I don't believe in collective guilt, as why he was opposed to the term, like, white privilege. And it's like, well, that's odd, because I know one group you approve of collective guilt and collective punishment.
Oh, my God.
So we should move on. This is where he ends with what you said. It ends with Howard Dean going,
but I really don't think there's a conspiracy to make people sick. So
Bill Maher goes,
I don't agree with. Next time you come back, I do want to pursue this. Because I do. Don't get a flu shot. It's bad for you.
And then he goes, Howard Dean, everybody.
Yeah, so fucked up to say that with your doctor guest right
so that
next
Howard
to you.
Dean cannot respond to him saying, don't get a flu shot, it's bad. And then just whisking him away.
There's another absolutely incredible segue that happens at the end of the show. I'm excited to get to.
I also wrote, put your finger down, Bill.
So then we get to the panel. The panel is, I did not have so the panel's Jim Rogan, Alanis Morissette, Jesse Jackson. They sent the panelists out way late because this was a pre-taped interview. Did you notice? He goes, let's get to the panel, and then it kind of fades, and he's sitting at the desk.
I thought it was pre-taped, and then because they were late, I was like, oh, maybe it wasn't.
I think that's why it was so fucked up, their entrance. It seemed like whoever was giving them the cue to go out was new and is like, yeah, he introduces them one at a time.
Oh, yes, that was so awkward.
And he even says, like, he's on his way here now. Jim Rogan, Alanis Morissette, Jesse Jackson.
Yeah, you could tell he was super annoyed.
I'm a big Jesse Jackson fan. Otherwise, the panel, I was like, what's this panel going to be like? I don't even know Jim Rogan. So I looked Jim Rogan up. Did you?
No, I didn't.
So Jim Rogan, his career is insane. He's a California Republican. He was a municipal judge in Glendale. Then he was a member of the state assembly. Then he was the majority leader for because the Republicans controlled the state assembly for a few months until he ran for Congress. He was succeeded in his role as majority leader of the state assembly by a man named Kurt Pringle.
Love it.
And then he became the representative from California's 27th district, which was after him represented by Adam Schiff. And then he led the patent office under Bush before finally becoming a Superior Court judge in Orange County. And we also find out later he was a bartender on the Sunset Strip and a bouncer at a gay porn theater.
Yeah, and he grew up in San Francisco.
He was kicked out of high school in the 10th grade. It's the kind of thing where...
What a fascinating life.
The first time there's been a Republican on this panel where I am so compelled by this man.
Yeah.
So I often have, I try to have the guests, remember to have the guests do this now. This actually seems like it'll be pretty tough. Could you rank the three panelists in the order of, in your opinion, best to least best? I'm not even going to say worse, because I think they all had a lot to offer.
But yeah, they were a pretty good panel. It's hard.
I mean, if you just can't, you just can't. That's fine.
I'm
Because we
glad
have been talking for an hour and 50 minutes.
I'm glad that you...
Part of that is because of the cats. A part of that is because, look, I should have known.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. I knew, you know, as soon as you were like, I have so many notes, I was like, I knew Karen was going to get
I do my homework.
when I didn't see you with a notebook, I was like, and then you were like, do you have a charger? My phone is low on battery. I was like, okay, here we go.
Honestly, I can't really rank them. Like, they're all good in different ways.
That's totally fine. I think that's a perfectly acceptable answer.
Okay.
In this case especially.
That's what my answer is.
Yeah. He segues into the first topic by going, ask any guy in prison. You can get used to anything. And we got used to George Bush.
We've been getting raped by George Bush in prison?
Like, yeah, I mean, you could be if it
sure.
were. I mean, on some level, I understand I do get the analogy on some level.
But he's not woke enough for that interpretation.
If it were someone else, yes, I just think he wants to make a joke about getting raped in prison.
Of course.
If it were anyone else, I would be able to, like, if it were generic comedian, it would be very easy to be like, well, I mean, prison is awful all around. Like, prison in America is horrific, whether or not you are being horrifically abused.
But we know he was talking about
when you remove
sexual abuse.
It's the same way it's like when you poll generic Democrat, it beats named Democrat by like 25 points in so many races.
Yeah.
Like, the idea of a Democrat is so much more popular than most specific Democrats. He uses that to segue into the first topic of Kerry definitely won the debates, right? And my only note for this is I wrote, and I drew it all fancy. I just wrote, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Was there anything in here before he moves into John Kerry hurting the feelings of the Cheneys that you have notes on or would like to address?
I said, I hate how he just goes, don't you agree that, and then inserts a very specific opinion.
Is there a way to ask a more leading question?
So leading, and then, like, what are they supposed to say?
Like being like, hey, are you a stupid fucking bitch? Or would you agree this? It's like, wait, hold on.
How am I supposed to, like, get my answer out quickly enough before you interrupt me again? Like, I said I can see him not listening. He kind of, like, his eyes kind of glaze over, and then he'll kind of, like, look away or, like, look around when somebody's talking to him.
Sometimes he's vibrating.
What do you mean?
He is, like, vibrating.
To respond?
Yes, he is just waiting until he can get in. And I know that because I do that, especially when I am not on, when my medication has worn off or I can't get it.
Okay. No, I totally know what you mean.
But I do not believe he has any sort of neurodivergent...
You don't?
No, I think he's just a huge... I will also say this about myself.
Look, neurodivergence is a spectrum, and it includes narcissistic personality disorder.
Okay, well, that I did not know. Oh, God.
It's not just the fun ones, Will.
I've now been doing the podcast long enough. I don't know if I've told stories before. So I checked two things. One, I've definitely told this story before. And two, clinically, personality disorders and neurodivergency are two different, I guess, branches. But they have some overlapping symptoms. And I will say, if you have both borderline personality disorder and solidarity, you can't remember nothing freaks. But
no,
all of that, I also have the thing men have, where I like to interrupt and get my point out, no matter the cost.
Is it the man or is it the ADHD?
So I have the influence of both, and that's why I am such a bad interrupter.
Superpower.
Yeah.
And also there's comorbidities, like people who are schizophrenic also can be autistic, blah, 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 blah. Like,
The thing with Bill Maher possibly being like, the one thing I'll say is he talked on Howie Mandel's podcast. He was talking about how he, even as a kid, he didn't like kids. He
And by
didn't
the
like
way,
kid stuff.
me saying Bill Maher is narcissistic was a bit,
Oh, yeah, yes.
for the record.
It's
But neurodivergent isn't like a hall pass. It's an explanation, but it's like, I'm not to say like, we can't get mad at him for anything he says or does.
I know, I just don't want to give him credit for anything at all.
You don't want, got it. You don't want to explain his shitty behavior.
Yes. The next is, then they move on to, John Kerry hurt the Cheneys' feelings by mentioning their gay daughter.
Yes.
Yes, and I'll say it's very weird to hear everyone using the term sexual preference as like
I
this.
didn't even notice that.
I
Wow.
only noticed it because we've come so far.
Right.
Again, it's like neurodivergent. It's like the idea of back then it was like, yeah, gay guy, he likes to fuck another guy in the ass. like that's what people be like, yeah, you're gay, you fuck a guy in the ass. And like our idea of even the like spectrum of sexuality is also so much more like broader and more comprehensive and detail oriented.
Also, preference is
yes,
underlying meaning you prefer, meaning you're choosing one or the other, which
Yes.
kind of,
and I mean it is
whatever.
It is in a way a preference in the same way I prefer to eat food over dirt.
Well, yeah, it's kind of a polite. That's like the whole like choice thing or the preference thing of like, oh, you don't mean like it's a choice. You probably realize that I can't help it, but I am choosing not to be miserable.
Yes.
That's the choice.
Yeah.
And they're mad about it.
Yeah.
They're mad that you would choose like to live authentically. Like whether or not they knew that that's, I don't know. I really do believe at that point it's like, oh, you really think like it's my fault that I'm choosing happiness?
Yeah, it does seem like a lot of
Well, that inconveniences me.
it seems like it's inconveniencing to have to, you know, learn like it's the kind of thing where it's like I was really sort of introduced to the idea of someone being non-binary much later than I ever really thought about someone being like trans, like, you know, transitioning from
Trans-binary.
Yes, transitioning from being a man to a woman.
Yeah.
Like, so I still have to make an extra effort to remember, like they, them. It is like that. Those are people's pronouns locked in. And, but the thing about that is like, that's a my problem.
Right.
Like that's just something I have
That's a you issue.
Yeah, it's like, I just have to work extra hard on that then.
Yeah.
And really make sure I get my shit locked in.
Well, I compare it to like women who change their last names after they get married.
Dog, who cares?
That's like you go to work, someone's like continues to call you by your maiden name.
It'd be so annoying.
It would be so annoying and weird, and then it would be like, well, you shouldn't have gotten married and changed your name.
And
now I have this chore. And it's like, figure it out, dude.
And I think they just imagine like, I am at pretty much everybody has had a slip of the tongue moment and misgendered somebody, and like
I misgender myself. So,
and it's like I've never seen anybody get that angry. I've never seen anybody get angry in a face-to-face conversation. I've never seen anybody get angry about that kind of thing. They will just get corrected, and the other person always goes, "Oh my God, I'm sorry." Right? They correct themselves. Everybody moves on with their life.
yeah, everybody saw like one video online that was like really extreme, and they assume every single person.
And they have made up this thing where they're like, well, the gender police are coming, and they will make me transition. Like, it's, and I think it's driven.
You're in it now.
I think it's driven. Yeah, it's somebody is like, free transitioning if I just start misgendering people, huh? And I will say, refreshingly, with this conversation, even by modern standards, pretty, like, reasonable.
Yeah.
Like, there is probably the most homophobia is from Bill Maher during his jokes.
Oh my God, yeah. Wait, okay, before we get into that.
Okay.
Jesse Jackson interrupts Bill Maher. Bill Maher is, like, talking about, George Bush brought up 9/11 too much or whatever, and he's like, that was a problem. Blah, 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 blah. Brings up Shark Attack Summer. Do you remember Shark Attack Summer?
Oh, yeah, there were, like, 4 shark attacks?
This was a moment in my adolescence where I think, like, the idea of, like, forced narratives in the news, like, began to sink in.
Yeah, you've heard, like, satanic panic shit.
Yeah.
Or even just, like, when it be, like, they're making a candy-flavored meth to get kids hooked on meth. And it's like, this is the dumbest... People get addicted to meth because it feels really good for, like, 5 minutes. Like,
or, like, not even that, because I don't even know if that's, like, if
That-
you have any... Did that happen?
Yeah, Dianne Feinstein, that was the first sign that she truly was losing her mind, because she sponsored a bill, I think, increasing penalties against, like, cotton candy flavored meth. It was like,
Oh my God.
it was like meth designed to appeal to children.
Oh, okay.
And it was just like, it's meth. People smoke it because it's meth.
I just remember there was a shark attack at the beginning of the summer. People fucking loved it on the news. They were eyes glued. And then they were like, well, shit, we gotta report on every single shark attack. And they were like, 4 in a summer. And it was like, what is going on? Why are there so many sharks? And it's like, there aren't. And, like, in my mind, that kind of, like, radicalized me a little bit, where I was like, oh, they just get to show whatever collection of things. But there's a lot of things to see.
And they can just and also the idea of, like, shark attacks are up 400%. And it's like, yeah, well, because normally there's 1 and then there were
Shark
4.
attacks that we report are up 5,000%. And I remember, like, having that realization that, like, the news just creates a narrative and actually can create the, like, emotion of fear as a result.
It's like the ongoing thing of every time they're like the epidemic of retail theft.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like the number 1 source of theft in this country is wage theft. Like,
yeah.
Like, the moment I found that out, I think was the point where I was just like, oh, I'm going to check anything. Like, any sort of, like, large narrative like this, I'm going to be like, well, hold on, what are we talking about?
And I do that all the time, and
it's exhausting.
It's exhausting, but it's actually well worth it. But okay, so Jesse Jackson interrupts the middle of this pre-planned shtick or whatever.
Yeah.
He says shark attack, summer sharks or whatever.
Yeah.
White
shark summer.
Yeah.
Hot sharks are the only 2 jokes I had about it.
Jesse Jackson interrupts him. He juts out his lower jaw and his teeth.
Dumb woman musician. The show'd be over because he would have killed everybody. He would have, like, released the Joker gas. Over because he would have killed everybody. He would have, like, released the Joker gas and killed his whole studio audience and everybody else there. He would have been so upset.
It's a very mask off moment.
That's a crazy picture you just showed.
Crazy.
And he interrupts him to make the point of, like
a better point.
Yes, to be like minimum wage, the environment, all of these different problems.
Yeah.
Why is this the primary focus? Like, why is this what the media is insisting on talking about?
Yeah. I said Jesse Jackson has an accurate take of our future trajectory. I mean, everything that he said is, like, only gotten worse.
It's a classic thing. When he's the first black person to win any presidential primaries. He ran in 1984, and it said he was there was a chyron. Oh my God, he had a chyron. I'm realizing because it said the Rainbow Push Foundation as, like, his sort of credit underneath his name, and his whole thing in 1984, it was a Rainbow Coalition where he was like, I am not. He was running to represent essentially a huge swath of groups who had been forgotten in politics with, different racial groups, LGBTQ groups, and he won a few primaries, and you look back at his campaign, Bernie Sanders endorsed him when he was mayor of Burlington, and you look back at his campaign and you go, oh, if he had won,
oh my God,
everything would be so different. It's like the thing of Lionel Hutz thinking about a world without lawyers, and it's all races and religions dancing together under a smiling sun.
I mean, yeah, he was obviously, like, very on the nose of, like, let's just get people's economic needs met, and why are we getting into, like, I couldn't tell if he was like, we shouldn't be discussing this upcoming constitutional amendment, or we shouldn't have the constitutional amendment being
I think it's
previewed at all.
I think his point is sort of is this able to be such a important part of the election narrative that essentially why is like gay marriage able to be such a huge discussion point that a constitutional amendment to ban it can be the center of the election?
I mean, I get that, but also, like, it's like, are you a president that's going to continue with that to get that passed or not?
Yeah, and it's.
And I didn't know if he was like, let people be gay and get married, like, be chill about it or whatever, or if he's like, because that was kind of the thing with, like, trans people, like, with Hillary, and even, like, when Marianne Williamson ran for Congress, like, they weren't talking about it because they didn't want to, like, taint the party's platform, but it being threatened.
Yeah, it still matters.
So it's like, I don't know, it's like, we're turning people away who don't know gay people and don't care, but it still matters. I don't know,
It could be a thing where he's like, I'm a little uncomfortable talking about this. A lot of my congregation is uncomfortable talking about this. So, like, I don't know if he's treating it as, this shouldn't be such a big deal, or let's make this a non-spoken about issue.
I think it's the first one, because I think I came across a quote of his that was like, I don't care who you go to bed with, as long as you both have jobs when you wake up in the morning to go to, or something.
And that would be pretty in line with the way, particularly in 2016, Bernie Sanders was running as well.
Yeah, and that makes sense, like, as long as there isn't impending legislative threats to, like, a group of people's, like, human rights or whatever.
Yeah, then they like to hear, like, also I will fight for you. There are a lot of problems I want to talk about, but just to reassure you.
But, like, let's get into depth about these, but just, you're good.
Yes.
Like,
you're like talking about a jobs program for 30 minutes, and you're like, just as a sidebar though, I will veto any anti-trans legislation.
Like, all
that comes
human
across
rights are human rights.
Yeah, okay, perfect. I just want to make sure everybody knew. Anyway, back to the jobs guarantee.
Yeah. Like, perfect compromise. Yeah.
This is when Jim Rogan talks about being a bartender on the strip.
Yes.
So
Omar was shocked. He was like, have you even met a gay person?
They all asked him if he knew a gay person. Yeah. And
it
turns out he's met more gay people than anyone else, including probably all gay people. A bartender on the strip in, like, the 80s, a bouncer at a gay porn theater, and he grew up in San Francisco in, like, the, I think, 50s and 60s.
And he was like, he wasn't too smug about the fact that they, like, totally misjudged him.
He made a joke when he was like,
and in between my bartender gigs, I was a bouncer at a porno theater in Canoga Park, so yeah. Where I recognize most of your studio audience from.
Oh my God.
And you know what? I laughed out loud. I was like, that's the best joke on the whole show. I understand his whole joke is like, a bunch of gay guys in the crowd here, huh? It's like, I like the playful combativeness. Bill Maher kind of, and it comes up later, wants to have this thing of like, no, my audience is here and they're fair and they don't have any prejudged bias. The show is not about it's like, obviously at this point in time, his crowd is all Democrats. And thus, when a Republican or just general conservatives on the panel, I like it a little bit. They're like cupping their hand to their ear and they're like, oh yeah, bring it on.
Yeah, totally.
Like, imagine being in his, also imagine 2 years after this, you're in court in Orange County, the judge walks in, and you're like, I think that guy called me a homo at a fucking TV taping 2 years ago.
God. he was chill, although I have no idea what his, like,
I'm sure
political beliefs are.
As a Republican judge, I'm sure he's awful. Like, he's been a judge in Orange County for almost 20 years. Like, I'm sure I have a lot of problems with him, but, like, if you gotta put a guy on TV.
Yeah, that's true. I am glad that his before he got into government, that these were his work experiences. Like, they will only I think, positively inform his judgment.
And they even ask him, they're
exposure to all different kinds of people.
When they're like, do you believe gay people are born that way? And he goes, yeah, most of them.
Yeah.
And
he was really chill about it.
And then they stop probing any further
because they thought they were gonna get some whatever.
Yeah. So then their next segue is Sinclair's ownership of so many sources of news.
Yes.
Did you have another thing you wanted to chime in about?
They called Bill Maher said a terrible comparison to like he was like the monster chained in the attic or whatever.
Oh yes, he said that he's like, if they're so proud of her, why don't they highlight her on the campaign trail instead of treating her like so it's much worse than what you said.
Yeah.
The retarded monster they keep shackled in the attic.
Oh my god. And I like gasped because I was like, I said saying that out loud feels worse. But
here's the thing, everybody was just saying that word.
I mean, yeah, but like I can't articulate what kind of bothered me about the rhetoric on this show around gay people, because like out of one side of their mouth they're like, we are fighting for gay people, and then out of the other side they're just like, there's so much weird contempt. Like,
yeah. They're like, it's freaking gay to masturbate.
It's like, we find it gross and we support you.
Yeah.
I think is kind of what it is.
And it's like, when people complain about the idea of like representation or diverse voices, either they oppose those people's rights and those people's goals, or I think a part of the thing with like, especially young men being so right wing and how much they'll talk about how much they hate like DEI and all this stuff, and it's like, well, part of this is because I don't think they realize that like there would be a panel of like 45 straight people talking about gay rights.
It feels weird. It like sounds weird as hell, like the way this whole episode went.
At the time, diverse and like, in the 90s, like a diverse panel would be like 4 white men. One of them wants to get rid of the estate tax. 2 of them don't, and like
one's
one
from
of them,
Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
one's from Maine.
It's like the idea. Darren, this comic in Toronto, Darren Rose. I remember him having this joke where he goes and visits his friends in other cities, and he'll be like, "Oh, it's not a very diverse city," and they're like, "What are you talking about? We got all kinds of different ethnic groups. We got Greeks, we got Italians, we got Bulgarians."
He goes, I wrote like, I cannot believe the way they talk about gay people. No wonder I came out so late with this rhetoric.
It's very
because there was nobody saying like, I'm gay. They're just talking. They're literally othering.
It's so theoretical the way they're talking.
It's like this make believe hypothetical gay person that they say they support, but like I still feel icky.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Alanis Morissette seems like the one with the most.
Oh, for sure.
Like sort of personal connection. I feel this way about a lot of the things Bill Maher talks about, because he always seems like he's talking about these things, almost all except for like smoking weed. He talks about them from these positions where he's like, I have this opinion and I think this side of this issue is correct, but it doesn't actually affect me.
That's another thing that I think about his cultural like contribution, and I think he really took the right take. I have to state something, and I feel like I feel like he fueled a lot of that.
That's an interesting thing to say, especially because when he talks about his podcast on other shows, he'll be like, the thing with my TV show, we could be talking about anything that night, so you have to know about essentially everything.
But you don't. That's literally the flaw. That is literally what creates so much false and like uninformed discourse, to have that like you have to just have a take.
In a case like this where you book the people without any thought to what they'll be talking about.
Like, it's not a test. And also, I feel like, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No. Yeah. Thank you very much for apologizing.
Okay, the flaw is a lot of people think I have to have a take, no matter how much or little I know about it. Knowing I don't know much, I'm still going to have an opinion. And it is the burden of proof or whatever is on the person who's talking to me to change my mind. Rather than, like, you can just say I don't know. Do you know anything about it? Why don't you share with me your perspective? And then I'll go find another, and then I'll go read up on it, and then maybe I will get to a point where I feel informed enough to form an opinion.
And it's
called forming an opinion.
It's
Sorry, I'm yelling.
well, no, you're not. I
Okay.
can see the levels. The only time where it gets high is when you laugh, as you predicted. That also fits. So they booked the panel specifically for what they would be talking about. It's crazy that they don't tell the panelists what they'll be talking about. If I was just supposed to walk on a show like this and be like, I hope I know enough about whatever comes up. Even if the guests were booked specifically for the topics that were going to be talked about on the panel, he still would just be like so much of our sources of news. I think now they own like 294 TV stations. I think at this point they owned around 70. This point of view, Jesse Jackson is like, it's bad. Jim Rogan is like, I don't think it's a problem. I think it's always been this way. And Alanis Morissette, this consolidation of news isn't great, but I also believe people will seek out the news if they're so inclined, and they will find it from other sources. And this conversation, all three of those point of views, they all express them in a way where, whether or not I don't agree with Jim Rogan that it's not a new issue, but the way he says it, he's like, listen, if all of a sudden NBC News, these things you listed are all conservative, that'd be new. At points in that a lot of these anchors still reflected from a sort of like center point of view, which was would have been classified as liberal and democratic at the time. Jesse Jackson thinks it's bad. He expresses that well. And Alanis Morissette point is expressed really well. I was like, this is a really great conversation they're having where they don't agree, but they are...
It's like what left, right, and center is supposed to be.
Yeah, it's like they're expressing why they feel this way.
Right.
They're not getting mad at each other. They're going, okay, but why this conversation is so good? Bill Maher is not contributing to it.
Aha!
He doesn't add anything during this.
Oh, that's interesting.
They just have this conversation where I'm like, if you didn't know anything about this, you would probably be like, I'd like to learn more about this.
Right. I actually looked up like Succession. I'm watching Succession for the first time.
Oh wow. It makes me too uncomfortable. I have a hard time watching.
I almost gave up. I pushed through.
Kendall is so hard to watch.
That's
the oldest.
Yeah.
Sorry, not the oldest. The say it sincerely. Like, it's the kind of thing I would say, and then I have to physically restrain myself from adding to it, because I'm the freaking Joker, baby, and we live in a society. He means it. He genuinely means it. And that's his contribution to this conversation. Yeah, is to be like, I'm a little too friggin' rock and roll.
Because he goes, I don't know if this is later. No, I wrote, ew.
Some really, like, genuinely sort of courageous opinions and isn't afraid to express them. And then I watched this show and I was like, does he? Because I don't know any other ones he's ever said.
Well, he's friggin' dangerous. Don't you forget it.
I'm a friggin' sex freak, baby.
Kid love.
Yeah. Kid friggin' love at your service.
Okay, wounds never heal.
Okay, so that is, again, his contribution after it's a little too friggin' dangerous, when he finally gets involved, he's like, also this documentary that's being showed on all these Sinclair stations, which is, it's like a smear job against John Kerry. It's Swift boat shit.
Right.
And a great point that Jim Rogan makes, he's like, at this point, every voter has decided whether or not they think this is real. So, like, I don't think this documentary is going to make a big difference. And they all were kind of like, I mean, that's true. But he complains because the doc is called Wounds That Never Heal. And he's like, it's about Vietnam. He's like...
Also, let me ask you this. The name of this movie that they're showing, that the Sinclair stations are ordered to show, is Wounds That Never Heal. It's been 35 years since the Vietnam War. Shouldn't wounds heal? When wounds never heal, isn't that on you?
Yes,
Really?
yes.
I mean, isn't that like people who are still blaming their parents
Yes.
for their crappy behavior when they're 50
responsibility
years
at some
old?
point, yes.
I mean, wounds that never heal, all wounds heal.
As we completely make the same mistake in Iraq again,
And it's like,
well, you've just reopened the wound.
and the thing with Iraq is, there's a wound that never healed. There's a wound that opened and festered and
Right.
fucked up the entire world.
Right.
It was so bad. Also, but then it seems like he's kind of shifting to a thing of people are such pussies these
Well,
days.
he goes, don't blame your crappy behavior. Oh, wait, it's on you for not healing. Don't blame your crappy behavior on your parents when you're 50.
It's like, buddy, some people were horrifically, imagine going up to a guy, he reveres vets. It's like, imagine going up to, a guy who invaded Normandy on D-Day, and it's like, oh, you saw all your squad mates get chewed up by a fucking German machine gun? Get over it.
This man has never known a moment of vulnerability in his life.
A man is allowed to cry when his mother dies.
Oh, okay. One time. Okay.
So this happens every single night.
Who are they?
Every single night, a parade of motorcycles and dirt bikes. And
Good for them.
Sometimes there's a four-wheeler. Well, good for them. I mean, it's like Take Back the Night, except they're still burning gasoline. They're still burning fossil fuels.
They're having fun, Will.
Yeah.
I said it's like he thinks that only time heals wounds.
So as I'm editing this fucking thing, I am realizing this is the same fucking guy that still talks about how getting dumped by his girlfriend when he was 17 was the worst pain he has ever experienced. He said that 2 years ago on a podcast with Howie Mandel. Eat my entire fucking ass, buddy.
And not accountability and reconciliation and all this other stuff in therapy and financial support and blah 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 blah. If enough time has passed, it's like the IP expires or whatever.
The copyright.
The copyright expires and then
yeah,
you're
your
good.
pain is public domain now.
Your pain is public domain. It's not yours anymore. Yeah, that was such a weird.
Yeah,
he's
and
so fucking whiny.
That's the thing. It's like they're having a real conversation, and then he's like, "Also, can I just complain about this semantic thing real quick?" And it's like, I guess because it's your show, you literally can. But why are you doing this to us? This is when he clearly this is when his love for George Carlin is clear. Is when he tries to do this comedy about wordplay, but nobody's laughing. And it just sort of fizzles out with him being like, right? Come on. You know how all great jokes end with the comedian going, right?
And then Jesse Jackson's like, whose Vietnam's never even occurred was Bush.
Bush and Cheney, yeah. And then
Bush
the crowd's
and
like, woo! And it's like, look, I know everybody loves the applause line, but
Zing!
dude, this shit is so corny at this point. Especially when it's at a point now where it's like, people will be like, oh, the only thing I like about Donald Trump is that he dodged the draft.
Right.
I don't care. You didn't go to a war that was unjust. Great. Good for you for finding a way to not go kill innocent civilians in Vietnam. Are you ready to talk about the mid-show comedy bit?
What's the mid-show comedy bit?
There were no good zingers in the debate.
Yes, I wrote no zingers in the debate, emoticon unhappy face.
Yeah, so he does play a clip of John Kerry's one sort of
yes.
shot at George Bush, and it is so bad.
No, John Kerry.
Yeah, John Kerry takes a shot at Bush.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah, when he's like, oh, my opponent lecturing me about fiscal responsibility is like Tony Soprano lecturing someone about law and order.
Which I immediately thought of the show, and I got confused. I was like, what?
And he comes back and he's like, and Bill Maher, the rare time where he actually has kind of a funny reaction where he's like,
And that is the kind of funny, ha-ha humor we have to look forward to for the next 4 years. I mean, we are going to be in stitches with that man out there, because you can see he can deliver. Oy, oy, oy.
And then Alanis Morissette, we don't need a funny president, though. We just need a good president.
Which is true.
And then Bill Maher goes,
That's true, too. I've said that also.
Oh, God.
just him, like, instead of being like, yeah, no, I say that too. Oh, no, I mean, I say that too. Yeah, no, I also say that.
Just caves immediately.
Just be like,
Cannot take a single.
Yeah, even if you're gonna do that, just be like, no, I know, don't worry, I'm just kidding. Because, like, I mean, he doesn't even need to say anything. We all know he wants John Kerry to win. But then the mid-show comedy bit is very brief. It is 3 zingers. He's like,
oh my God.
Here are some zingers they didn't use. John Kerry's is, apparently, sir, all that time down at the ranch has accustomed you to the smell of bullshit.
Okay, Alanis
is dying.
Dying laughing.
I'll say it's a lot of pressure to put on somebody to...
Oh, I thought that too.
To sit them...
I'd probably fake laugh.
Yeah, just sit them next to this guy while he's doing his dumb jokes. And you
like,
just have to sit there and like...
She's like fawning.
I don't normally like to talk about this kind of thing on the podcast. She's so beautiful. Yeah, Alanis Morissette. She's... when she was popular, I was like, I don't know, 10 when like Jagged Little Pill came out, or maybe like 12. Mm-hmm. And she was like a fully adult woman. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, this old woman.
Yeah.
But now, looking back, I'm like, oh, this is...
She's very cute.
She's so hot. She's dying during these. John Edwards is, I thought I met you before, but that was Sonny...
Oh, yeah.
I thought I met you before, but that was Sonny Bono, the other ugly dead guy with a lesbian daughter. That was him saying that to Dick Cheney. Which was initially confusing because I forgot Chaz Bono transitioned.
Oh.
Yes. That, I believe, is the lesbian daughter he's referring to. Is now Chaz Bono.
I didn't know the reference.
Yeah, I believe that's what it is. And Sonny Bono was dead at this point from crashing into a tree while skiing.
I just love how he's, like, freaking defending, like, you know, gay people, and then in the next breath, like, using lesbian daughter as a punchline.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Just... make it make sense.
I'm sure at the time it made sense because he was like, no, I'm defending gay rights. I'm clearly just joking.
Oh, I wrote that. Okay, this is actually something that I think was really popular a long time ago, but like leftist like dudes still do, where they're like, see, I didn't say that. I'm saying that this person said it. But they didn't say it. They're making it up like as a joke or whatever, and they're like, so it's not bad. I can say anything in this fill in the blank. Because I'm not saying it. I'm saying they said it.
That was one of my favorite stand-up comedy cheats, where somebody would be like, I got in a cab the other day, and the friggin' cab driver said the most racist joke. And then they just tell a racist joke, and they're like, can you believe it? And it's like, hold on.
Oh my God.
I think you might have written a racist joke. And been like, this black cab driver told me this crazy racist joke about black people.
God.
But he was black, so it's okay. It's the thing, this weird rash of incredibly cheap conservative comedy shows, and especially these cartoons, like Mr. Burcham. They'll do the thing where it's like, it's about a conservative guy who's clearly right about everything, and all these woke white people who are such losers.
Oh, yeah,
but the conservative guy, he's got a black friend, and he agrees with him. So he must be right. And it's like, you made the black friend up. It's not a real guy.
That's that new like animated show or whatever?
Yeah, Mr. Burcham.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because that character is voiced by Alonzo Bowden, who has been on like the Young Turks and stuff. Also, Alonzo Bowden, one of the funniest guys, an insanely nice guy. But that's a classic example of like, he's also been a stand-up comedian for 40 years and never like truly broken big. Mm-hmm. So it's like Adam Carolla's probably his friend, and they offered him money, and it's like, yeah, he took the job now because he's
judgment-free questions.
It's and I don't judge him. I'm gonna go make sure Hal didn't get anything real quick.
Okay.
What was that noise? We were talking about the complete and total lack of humanity that they show. They treat gay people like theoretical things on this show.
Yes, and I said the panel was uncomfortable.
Yeah, and then
or maybe they just didn't get it. I don't know.
It's just not very good. And then the last one is Cheney was going to say to John Edwards, to quote Ronald Reagan, "There you go, fuck yourself again."
Nobody got it.
Reagan had some famous line in a debate where he was like, "There you go again." Like, something like that. That's the minor one.
Oh, he's like combining "Go fuck yourself."
Yes, because famously, Dick Cheney once on a hot mic said, "Go fuck yourself." So Bill Maher has to make 400,000 jokes about it in the span of 4 months.
This, I mean, I don't know when Twitter started, but obviously it wasn't yet. This is like,
I think like 08.
This is the equivalent of being chronically online. Like, knowing both of those things and then getting the joke.
Yeah.
Is anyway.
Yeah.
5 people would appreciate that joke.
Yeah. And then that's it. It's three things. And the other thing too is it's like, I guess because they put sir, like, the thing is, I guess the John Kerry one to me is the most galling because it's like, well, you did just kind of just write one that somebody might say. The John Edwards one is the most, well, I think the John Edwards one is kind of the most like a joke because it's insane. Like, it's the punchline, the other ugly dead guy with a lesbian daughter. That's such a wild punchline, wild-ass punchline, that, like, it feels the most like a joke, non-complimentary. It's this thing that plagues this show that where it's like ratchet it up, man.
It's too many words.
Then they go right into an interview with Garrison Keillor.
Yes.
Which starts with, this is what I mentioned earlier. Garrison Keillor goes, "Well, I've been listening on my earpiece, and you've got a great radio show there, Bill." And Bill Maher goes, "Thank you very much." Like, how can you not do a little improv?
Yeah.
How can you not?
It was a weird moment.
Like, just like, oh, or even just like, oh, I'm happy to hear that. I know you and I have very different entertainment sensibilities.
Okay, who is this man?
You know Prairie Home Companion?
No.
It was a radio show. It was like, there is an episode of The Simpsons from like the 4th season.
Well, sir, it has been an uneventful week in Badger Falls, where the women are robust, the men are pink-cheeked, and the children are pink-cheeked and robust.
What the hell's so funny?
At the Apple Biscuit Cafe, where the smiles are free, don't you know? Sven Ingquist studied the menu, and finally he ordered the same thing he has every day.
Maybe it's the TV.
TV. Be more funny.
And then I think he like whispered on like a 21-year-old woman's neck or something during a rehearsal. And that was enough where they were like, okay, we don't.
I very diplomatically wrote in all caps, "This man looks very unique."
Dude, really unique.
The most unique face I've ever seen.
Now, I'll say, do you have anything to say about this? Because I thought this was easily one of the most boring things I've ever seen on the show. It was just about, like, Bill Maher was surprised that Garrison Keillor had gone political.
Okay.
As a Democrat.
Got it. Okay, I said,
What a shock. A guy from Minnesota is a Democrat.
I said, wow, those eyebrows. I wrote down, Republicans follow their own nose. They're opportunists, which I would agree with. I mean, everybody is. But then I wrote, Bill Maher is the definition of a coastal liberal elite. He has absolutely no respect for anyone outside of LA or New York. That is another, I think, contribution that he has made to society of, like, cementing that
image of the coastal elite.
The image of this...
The, like, smug,
yes,
smarmy,
yes,
condescending, yeah.
I fully believe that is, like, an image that people conjure up when they think of, like, people who have absolutely no respect for them living in the middle of the country or whatever. Anyway,
this, like, old dandy wearing leather bracelets
yeah,
while trying to touch Bella Thorne.
Yeah. Like, proudly smoking weed.
Yeah. Yeah, making it his whole personality.
Yes. Yeah, they talk about the war, they talk about Fallujah. Democracy at the point of a gun. Or are we back into the panel? I can't remember.
Yes, I think now we're back into the panel because they segue into, isn't it time to set a timetable to leave Iraq? And Bill Maher says something like,
now in a year, we'll be there 2.5 years. Is that enough time for the Iraqi people, if they really want democracy, to just have it? If not, they're never going to get it.
Yeah.
Which is, what an interesting perspective to be like, after everything, after everything we've done for the people of Iraq, we invaded, We deposed their brutal dictators so we could put a bunch of even worse, like warlords in charge of the country. We killed tens of thousands of them, and prior to that, we were starving them by like hundreds of thousands with sanctions. Like, what more do these people want from us before they just accept freedom?
He really just loves simplifying things, except his jokes.
I feel like the gay jokes are pretty easy to parse out.
Yeah, sure. Very.
The joke is they're gay.
Very aspirationally pithy. No, he ignores all nuance whenever possible.
I mean, it's the thing I've been complaining about, where he'll be like, Iraq, the women are walking around in beekeeper suits, and it's like, no, man, Iraq. Aside from the racist way of saying it, Iraq, like, the Baathists were a secular party. And, like, they got more religious post-invasion of Kuwait. But still, it's like, in more rural areas, it was more likely to see women in hijabs. But in the cities, no, they were secular, intentionally. Like, to just lump every country together and just be like, every country in that region treats women the way they're treated in Saudi Arabia.
I feel like I can take some responsibility for it, but I feel very victim to the propaganda of the Middle East. Growing up, my friend is Iranian, and I don't know. I think I came across pictures of like the Iranian mountainsides or whatever. It looked like fucking Sweden. It looked like Switzerland.
It's beautiful.
I was like, what? Like, I was embarrassed by how surprised I was that it wasn't like a desert wasteland.
It's like when people will be like, people will call Iranians Arabs, and it's like, they're not Arabs, man. But people will just go, the Middle East, they're all Arabs.
Right.
It's just, like, or a really popular one is they'll talk about, Beirut's in pretty bad shape at this point, but people would post and be like, look at what Lebanon was like pre-Hezbollah, and they'd show a picture of like a beach with, women in bikinis, and they'd post a picture of a nightclub, and it's like, guys, Beirut is still a party city. Like, of all the places to pick, you pick fucking Beirut to be like, look at this hub of it's censorship and regressive, can't do anything. It's like people literally go to Beirut to party. And like,
yeah.
But it's all it's to them, it's all Saudi Arabia. Except at the end of the day, they like Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, it's kind of the same rhetoric as like, well, the Palestinians voted for Hamas. They get what they voted for. With this, like, if they really wanted democracy, they would march up to that store and ask for the manager and demand to see a job application. Like, it's that same energy of like, just go out there and grab it.
On the Piers Morgan show, he was like, finally, the Palestinians in Gaza are protesting against Hamas. And it's like, you fucking... In 2000...
All right, we did it. We drew 3 ghouls. We did it. All right. Thanks for watching.